Hello, we're here. We're on.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back. Week 5, Kings of Neon. I can't believe it's week 5 already. I'm so excited. I just was saying, I have no idea what you guys are going to do tonight.
And neither do we.
Yes, that was the collected response.
Shenanigans, for sure.
I'm so curious how this is going to go. But so, yeah, there is a sandbox of a big neon city out in front of you. You all have some leads, but some of them I think are just pure paranoia-fueled leads. And
What could you
others
possibly be talking about?
Exactly. And others have very relevant answers. So I'm really curious what you're all going to do. And when we left off last time, you all were like right on the cusp of like, maybe we should have a conversation about what happened to us. Like, wait, you can see the future. You can what? Like, what can you do? What? So there's a lot like out on the table for us to play with today, I think.
And then we got a phone call.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Because somebody
Yep.
stole a
That's
homeless
right.
man's cell phone.
Listen, I don't feel good about it. We've established that. But it's
true.
what had to be
I
done.
think, yeah, exactly. It was what needed to be done. This homeless guy was getting manipulated.
By any means necessary. I do love that you guys took the phone. I love like Escher's lamentation at the beginning of last week about like, I don't feel great about taking this guy's phone. But
I don't. Escher does it. Neither of us do.
Sometimes we have to cross lines. That's the fun of role-playing games. So all of you are doing good. It's a good week. Sunday night, back into the city.
Is this officially? Yeah, I guess this would be another week, or is this the start of the week? I guess it depends. It depends on your perspective. But yeah,
It
good
does.
week. A lot of podcasting.
I saw
nice. It
Kevin
was
in
good.
real life this week.
Amazing.
Wow.
That was,
Very
it was
exciting.
wild.
Nice.
My dog was extremely. This is the first time my dog has seen people in like
Oh yeah.
over a year, and he flipped out. But then, like humans, I think was like super excited, and after a little while was like, I need to go into corner. I can't. I can't be around people like this. Yeah. And so he like
He
went
just-
away.
He just napped for like 3 hours.
Oh.
I remember how your dog reacted to me. He just like in the before times. So I can't even imagine like the level of excitement now.
It's a lot. It's overwhelming to have to like reacclimate and adjust. I could imagine. Poor little guy got very excited, very stressed out, very tired. That's what happens.
Very
Thank you,
relatable.
Bugbear. Yeah, it is very relatable. I'm like nervous about going back out into the world. I got shot lined up finally, and I'm like looking forward to it, but anxious and nervous and whatnot. So yeah, There was a lot of good stuff to podcast about this week too, Kevin. I feel like I got to catch up on these podcasts because I want Falcon and the Winter Soldier takes.
Oh yes, we had them. We had some serious takes that Latanya and I went through. Latanya, Mike, and I talked about the big finale, and then coming up next week we're gonna have our feedback show. So you got feedback? Drop it in, send it over to us. super@postshowrecaps.com, and we'll discuss what everyone else's thoughts were after we went into ours this week. And joining us once again, back on Everything is Super, is Josh Wigler, who started this podcast with me. Who? Josh Waggles? Started this podcast with me a year ago for this particular one, and I'm really excited to have him back on.
That's going to be awesome. I have feedback because I've been sitting here like stewing on it for a few days. And yeah, now I have all these thoughts. So that's good. Cool. What else? Anything else? Anybody else got anything exciting we should note? No bookkeeping.
Flipping the script on us. We usually do the plugs at the end.
I know. Keeping us on our toes. Okay. So this brings us to the time of the night where somebody brings us back into the city of neon, the city of mist. And tonight, I believe, it's Jonathan Keeley.
Yeah. Okay, what'd you miss last time? Well, our book club found ourselves in some hot water up in Divinity Estates. We met with this lady named Perez. She's like the head of the mayor's task force. She seems like a hard ass, one that's unafraid of backing down from a fight. We almost got into a really big fight, but we all agreed to go our separate ways. There's more to be had with her much down the road. But finally, we had to get some sleep. We all turned in, got some sleep around 4 a.m. From there, we all got some time to like poke around our mythos, our mysteries. I tried meditation for the first time. And I know I've been like trying to sense the future for a while, like, or at least sensing danger at least. And I pushed my powers to the limit and to try to discern, like more about what is the danger out there? Who is behind this? And Perez is someone we should worry about, but Erasmus and the mayor, they're even above her on the food chain. And that brings us, we all rushed to the library. I had to share this with the rest of the group. And that brings us to right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
And so I think like the camera pans over like the big library table. There's some stuff like spread out. The five of you sitting around it, and Escher is holding open this flip phone that just started buzzing in their bag, taken from a homeless fellow at the murder scene the night before, and having like turned it on and pushed the speaker button. You just hear this voice like, yeah, who is this? Why'd you take that homeless guy's phone?
How did you know I took it?
Well, I mean, he obviously did not text me to tell me. But you're not him, are you?
Tell you what?
That you took it.
Well, how could he text you to tell you that I took it if I took it? And why would he text you to tell you that I took it if I didn't take it?
No, I think we're getting our signals crossed here. That's what I'm saying.
Is this speaker?
He didn't text me. I was playing like a little bit of a game where I didn't answer your question.
I don't think I answered your question either.
No, you didn't. That's why we're still talking. So why did you take the homeless guy's phone? I have to buy him another phone. You know he can't afford this phone.
Well, why did you give him the phone?
Yeah.
Who's that? You're not alone. I heard somebody else's voice.
We're all listening.
Did you help take the phone?
Shut up.
I didn't even know
it was
someone.
it was just me. I took the phone, nobody else. There's no one here. No one was with me when I took the phone. I was by myself.
Well, there's definitely somebody
Woof,
there, so
woof.
you're lying a little bit. But the homeless guy did tell me you just took the phone by yourself, so that part seems true. So we're at a bit of an impasse, though. Why did you take the phone?
Why did you give him a phone?
So that he could text me. I don't really like talking to him, to be honest with you, but I mean,
I mean, but you just called him and got me. Why didn't you send a text message?
Now I'm going to go back and answer the first question. That's because I went down there today to find out why I hadn't heard back from him, and he told me somebody took his phone.
Uh-huh. I took his phone.
Do you need a phone? Were you in a bad way? Are you done with the phone?
I don't need a phone. I have my own phone, but I didn't want him calling somebody to what? Tattle on us? I mean on me?
So all 5 of you are there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
See, we let's cut the crap here. Who are you and why are you trying to spy on the crime scene?
That's great. I'm not answering either of those questions.
And why call?
Well, because I'm wondering about the phone thing, and it seems like you all are pretty conversational, actually, so it's a bit of a surprise. I thought it would go to voicemail.
I mean, if you were looking for do you know the homeless guy's name, or is he only the homeless guy?
I mean, I know his name, but I feel like there's a privacy issue here that I maybe shouldn't share.
That's fair.
You guys did rob him.
If there's anything specifically that you were looking for Frank to divulge information on, we might have information too. So, like, what are you curious about? Maybe we can
That's
help.
kind of what I was thinking. So why were you guys down there? Are you just curious? Is it curiosity?
Why does Frank report to you?
Because I gave him a phone.
And why does he refer to you as the kid?
Wait, he called me that?
Yep.
I don't know. You'll have to ask him, but he might have a bad attitude after the whole phone situation.
Mhm.
So I gave him a phone so he would tell me what happened down there. Can't be everywhere at once. I'm curious too, but you know what they say, it killed the cat.
While this conversation's going on, Nick has written down on paper and holding it up to Escher, and it says, "Can we trace the call like on TV?"
On a flip phone?
He's mouthing like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
You're the tech person.
I know how to use a movie camera. What does that have to do with tracing a phone call? I'm not the CIA.
You don't have a hacker on the team.
So I take it you are not with the mayor's task force.
Oh, fuck no, man. Those guys are jerks.
Well, we can agree on that.
Something.
See, this is what we call finding common ground. Aren't we
Yeah.
glad that we
Yeah.
asked this, guys?
Good
I
job.
think Escher's like, well, then you talk to him and it's gonna
Well,
hand
it's on
the phone to
speaker.
Iggy.
Just put it on the table.
I know, but let
Has
Iggy
it been
hold
on
the
speaker?
phone.
It is.
Not
So
how
it's people.
I was going to run this conversation, so you go ahead.
Sorry about that. You hear him like yell back through the phone.
What name do you want us to call you for the duration of this conversation?
Whoa. It's not that often you get to pick your own name.
No, let's call him
the
Never
kid.
Call
Let's
me.
not overthink it.
No, don't call me kid.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. No,
probably
let's call
older
you
than
kid.
you.
I like it. It's
Well,
fun.
I guess it doesn't matter what I say now. You're gonna keep calling me kid.
Yeah, I'm
so
gonna keep
sure.
calling you kid.
Well, we'll call you Billy.
Really.
Sure, I like that.
Ooh.
Billy the kid.
There, we can
That's
all
clever.
we can all get a little bit of what we want out of that. So you have nothing to do with the task force. Have you run into them? Like, have you crossed paths with them? Because we
No,
have.
They've been creeping around everywhere in the past few days. Are they up your ass?
Oh,
Yeah.
quite
Sideways.
Yeah.
sideways.
He's like, yeah, that's problematic.
Okay.
So it
For-
doesn't seem
for us or
like
for you.
Well, for you,
Yo.
I mean, I'm off the radar for now. It seems from where I'm standing like none of you killed these people.
Thank you.
If you could tell the task force that,
Right.
see, that would be swell.
I mean, I could, but they're
Yes.
not on my radar.
Is he like us? Hey, question.
Boy.
Do you want to stay under the radar?
I mean, it's pretty warm down here.
So
Big cold city up there. You guys don't seem like you're in a great position stealing phones from homeless people and stuff.
Right.
You
right.
live in the subway? Are you a tunnel person?
That's kind of heavy. No, I'm not. Nope, I'm not a tunnel person. Nope.
What
Not sure I believe you.
can we meet up?
Whoa, you're moving a little fast for my taste.
Well, listen.
I mean, we're just having a conversation here. This is the modern age.
What,
Let's
are
get
you like
to know each
buy me a
other.
drink first type of guy?
I can
Are
bring
you old enough to drink?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
Wow.
Jonathan gestures over to you guys. Meet up to give the phone back. Yeah, phone.
We would love to get this. We feel horrible that a homeless person's phone was taken. Know how there's no ownership in that statement. Is there anything we would love to meet up to be able to return this phone to you?
Well, that's not going to do me very much good. There's a couple of problems here. See, first of all, you just told me that the mayor's task force is up your ass, so I don't really want to meet up. But we're talking, so that's a start.
Well,
And the
listen,
second
not
problem is
not to
that-
be rude, but like if you kind of want the mayor's task force to stay out of your ass, you should probably work with us.
What are you going to do? You going to tell them that the stolen phone has a voice on the other end that they should track down?
We got your number, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if we can't trace your number, they certainly can.
Yeah.
Do you see that phone?
It's a phone number. They can figure it out.
Yeah. All right, sure.
I
Go
think he's
give them
saying
my
that
number.
he
This
did
is
it from-
escalating.
Listen, I don't want
Now
it.
I feel like I'm threatened.
No.
I don't like
See,
feeling threatened.
That's why I started the sentence with like, listen, this is not what I want to be like. But
Well, that's how you threaten somebody.
Right.
Well, you say
Well, you
something
need to,
nice,
like,
and then you come in
answer
hard
some
at the end.
questions here. We're confused. Okay, we're all confused. We're trying to figure shit out. People are dying. We don't want to die. We don't want more people to die. So that's
I
what
got that impression. That's why
Great.
I'm talking to you.
How do you
Right.
know who we are?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question.
Asher doesn't
Listen.
understand why Nick won't just talk when clearly this guy knows that he's here.
He's like, I just know who you are. Okay. Does it really matter?
That's a little
Yeah,
weird.
it
you all-
matters a lot.
Yeah.
We have some trust issues after having run into the mayor's task force. We may have had them
No, I
before
get
that,
that.
granted, but definitely after.
I get that. Listen, I know who you are because I'm the kind of guy who buys homeless people phones to tell me what's up. So let's just say that I know what happened at the library.
Were you there?
No.
Promise?
Yes.
Believe him.
Are you
I
a
do.
library person?
I mean, in general, big picture, I used to love them when I was a kid. I haven't been to the local one very often, but you all have made me start rethinking that. I do love books.
Are you like some like crazy like conspiracy theorist person?
I mean, that's very subjective, and I would probably be the wrong person to answer it accurately. So I think we're going to leave that one hanging.
I think that's a yes.
I'm inclined to say no, but also.
Not no.
I think at this point, Jonathan walks up to the phone and he's like, "Hi, Jonathan Kiwi. Love your
Oh,
work,
hey,
whatever you
hey.
do." Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure
think we're
you've
calling
heard of
me
me. I
Billy.
know
Yeah, do
We've
you
probably
guys
heard
know
of
each
each other.
other? It feels like you would know each other.
It's true.
He knows a lot
I
of people,
feel
this
like-
guy.
I know a lot of people. You sound like a guy that I know that runs a zine. It might be you. But let's just say you said you know what happened at the library. What is that? What happened?
That's a big question, but I have a part of an answer. Well, I mean, you're all different now, right?
Some of us were different before.
Yeah.
I hear that. I really do. I never felt right. I think that it's not that we changed, it's that you can see more than you could before.
Mhm.
Haven't you ever wondered about this place?
When you
I mean, you
say
all, like-
we, does that include you?
I wasn't at the library.
That doesn't mean anything.
That's not what I'm asking.
Right. Well, I'm not the same as I used to be.
Okay.
It's like one day I woke up from a dream and there were bits of it that I could remember, and so much keeps slipping away. But so I'm just trying to figure it out from my perch on this branch over here, and it's hard because I'm not always sure what's real or what's not. So I might be talking out of school, or you all might know exactly what I mean. So, yes.
No, continue. I'm sorry.
He's like, so now I'm the kind of guy who buys burner phones for homeless dudes to tell me about potentially supernatural murders and who shows up 12 hours after the cops put the tape up. And that was you.
And when you say perched on a branch, is that a metaphor, or do you mean literally perched on a branch?
I don't spend that much time in library, so I'm not sure I know what a metaphor is.
Are you sitting in a tree right now?
Oh, no, nope, nope. I haven't done that in a long time, but...
So, you know all of us.
Well, I'm getting to know you now.
Oh.
I do know who you are.
All of us?
I mean, there's just the 5 of you, right? Are there more of you there?
Not right now.
No. I mean,
I know
do you like know us like intimately? Like, do you know we are 5 people that you're interested in? Do you know our names? Do you know like how?
Oh, no, I totally know your names. Yeah, I've checked out your career a little bit. You've been pretty successful. I hope someday I could afford to hire you. That would be interesting. Nick's a real up-and-comer. Jonathan out there, yep, he knows everybody everywhere. Lyra, you're a bit of a mystery. Hard to put my finger on exactly.
And we'll keep it that way.
Escher, though, I'm with you, you know. I think you're fighting the good fight. I'm sorry that nobody cares, but I know what that's like, and it's very frustrating. So
I don't think he...
keep it up.
Iggy says to the group, I don't think he knows all of us. He didn't actually say my name, and it was pretty vague what he said about me.
He's like, look, something happened to me not that long ago, and I think that it's happened to other people in the city, and I see what I see, and I see a lot of things going about my life in the day. So I, like your friend here, have just made some efforts to use more eyes than just the 2 that I have. And so that's where you end up with homeless guys like Fred that I give phones to let me know what's up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, Fred, though. Fred's his name.
God damn it, you got me. That's his name. Yes, his name's Fred, and I was curious because you got pretty close, but anyway. I just wanted to touch base.
Notice you said plural, homeless guys with phones. Fred's not the only guy, I'm assuming.
You got a network?
You have eyes. Yeah. What are you talking about here? What's your operation?
I mean, it's not a big thing that I do a lot. I can't afford that many phones. But, you know, there have been a few situations after the second murder. I thought, well, maybe I should pay attention to this because maybe they'll come kill me too. But then your library turned out to be kind of important. And so I stumbled across the 5 of you. There's some other people too, But the five of you seem to have stuck pretty close since everything.
We read books. I don't know.
So, like, where do we go from here?
Oh, I'm not sure what your plan was. I just was checking in, you know.
Well, it seems
Just
like
take your
we're somewhat
temperature.
on the same page. Don't like
Okay.
this, special task force.
Oh no, definitely we're on that page.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're curious about what's going on.
Yes,
And,
yes, curiosity. Don't be cat.
And we've all had some sort of change happen.
Right. Yes.
Do you know anything about this Erastus guy, by the way?
I mean, who doesn't? Do you live here? Yeah. He's rich.
All right.
He's really rich.
Yeah. Except for
And
the
not a
obvious
friend of
shit.
mine. Okay.
You looked into him at all? Do you know anything that we don't? Because we only know that he's a rich douchebag. I have my suspicions.
I can confirm that.
Yeah.
hmm
Great.
I don't think. Well, I shouldn't say, but I don't think that he killed these people.
I don't think so either.
Okay,
But
so there's
I-
another page.
But I think that there's something up with him
Well, I mean,
and his sister.
oh, okay. What's up with his sister?
Oh. Do you know anything about them? The other people that have changed? Can we exchange some information here?
Yeah, I thought that that's what we're doing. I don't know anything about his sister. I do know a handful of other people, like you, us, you.
Us.
Well, we've been looking for people like us.
Right. Well, what are we asking? I'm sorry, this conversation, I really wasn't expecting this. Like I said, I was planning on the voicemail here.
And what would you have said on the voicemail?
I just was going to be like, hey, you know, you should feel pretty shitty about yourself. You stole a phone from a homeless guy.
I mean, to
No,
be
I'm just
fair,
kidding.
I bargained with him to get the phone. We offered him beer in exchange for the phone.
Oh.
He gave it to me.
Right.
I did not physically take it from him unwillingly.
Yeah, that's true.
All right,
Just to
well,
be clear.
that makes more sense.
And I don't feel great about it.
Okay, well, I mean, I appreciate that.
Great.
Cool.
So, do you have I mean, really?
Phone number?
No.
Come on.
Or a zine. Do you have a zine?
I'm not even. Is that a library thing or? I'm not. Is that
Not the
like
guy
a?
I know.
No, probably not. I'm gonna go. You guys can text me, I guess now. Hang on to the phone.
Well, hold up. You got more people like us? Do you have a a group or something?
No, a group? No, you all. I don't know what you have, but no.
Book buddies.
I've been alone and trying to make sense of things. Look, I don't know where you all are looking, but well, I don't know. I don't know what more I should say. You weren't the only people at the library that day who got changed.
Yep.
But I don't think everybody who was there did. I'm not sure if there's any real rhyme or reason to it, but I think
Okay.
you already know that everybody who got killed so far was there that day.
But also, it's not only people who were at the library that were changed.
I definitely wasn't at the library. What happened to me happened before you all. I think the city is more than it seems.
Are you implying that everyone in this city is like this?
No, definitely not. I think that most of them are still asleep.
Uh,
Asleep?
I mean, wasn't that what it felt like before?
Yeah.
Is
yes, Nick, it's a metaphor.
asleep a metaphor?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think that's. I mean, like, they're not literally sleeping. I'm sure a bunch of people are right now. It's kind of late. But I just mean, yeah, like it feels like that. But they're not really asleep. I think that's a metaphor, right?
Yes.
A little late. Isn't it like 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
It's 6 p.m. How
Oh,
old
shit,
did
you're
you
right.
say you were?
Billy.
Getting close to your bedtime, Billy.
I think he's like, hey, oh, that was close. Almost got me. I'm
It's
gonna
a-
go.
I have to say, it's a little bit rude that you know all of our names and we don't know yours.
I don't think you.
Right, but you didn't tell me your names.
Yeah, which
you
is
didn't even offer
weird.
them.
That's
Yeah.
One of us
worse.
did.
Oh, you mean it's weird that I knew them? before.
Yeah.
I guess you've got me there. That's right. But also, the cops are hot on your tail. I can't deal with that kind of heat, so don't hold it against me. Look, like it's like they say in like movies and stuff, like if you don't know, they can't make you tell them.
That's what they say. Yep.
Right on.
Nailed it,
Yeah, right
I
on,
knew
guy.
it.
You nailed it.
kid.
Listen,
Iggy looks at Nick like questioningly, like, okay, I didn't think
No.
so.
Is that what they say?
I
in the
have to
movie?
go. He's like, I'm gonna go, but this was the only phone you took from my people.
This is the only phone your people gave us. Yes.
Okay, cool. I didn't mean to make it sound the other way. I realize we talked through it. I get it. It was like a mutual giving. I also don't mean to sound like Moses. I don't really have people. They're just a couple of homeless guys. I'm gonna go. This is awkward now.
Okay.
Yeah, stay
Hey,
in
text
touch.
me.
Definitely.
And I think you're like click.
Ugh.
I liked him. Actually,
Probably the longest phone conversation I have had in my adult life.
Yeah, that was wow.
Iggy hands the phone back to Usher.
I mean, he was firing on all cylinders, right?
I
Like,
mean,
Well,
why didn't you ask him if he knew more about the murders, like from his network? Saying that to Jonathan.
he wouldn't have told us. That guy wasn't telling us a thing. He's a
He
lot
told us that he was
boss.
trying to keep an eye on things because he didn't want to get murdered. So I don't know if he's like fully investigating the murders. I think he's more just like keeping an eye out for things that could affect him, possibly.
but he also
feel like
seemed to
murder
acknowledge
would
that the
affect
murders
him.
were only happening to people from the library.
Yes.
But clearly, though,
And
this is beyond the library. I mean, from what
Oh,
he
yeah.
said, he wasn't here. That means that this is way more than what we originally thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But the murders,
feels like any.
but the murders are targeting the library people.
Which means they don't know. Or he,
Or
she,
maybe
whoever
they're
it is,
starting with the library
doesn't
people.
know.
Or there's something different about the library people.
Or
We don't know. We don't know.
it was somebody who also got changed
Yeah.
at the library.
That's what I was wondering.
Whoever it was, if they were here and they got changed, they could have been like us. They just assumed that it was only us in the library that this happened to, so they're looking for other people in the library. So whoever it is must be, or likely is possibly one of the people that's on this list.
Maybe. So many
How many people were
questions.
on the list?
What was the list that you're talking about? We just had a list of people who checked out books. We don't have a list of everybody who was in the library.
Yeah.
Right.
You have the list of people who checked out books that day. Yep.
So it could be someone who got changed but didn't check out a book.
Yeah.
And last time, Iggy, amongst your clues, you had gathered the books that had been taken out by the 4 people who had been killed, right? So the first person, Manny Rodriguez, had a bunch of romance novels. The second person was Lucia Stanthorpe. They had travel books. The third victim was a woman named Karen Owens. She had a bunch of war biographies and autobiographies about like wars.
Ooh.
And Amelia Rogers, the victim from just the night before, was the one with the children's books.
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't mean...
I think we gotta try to find those books, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe all the people who were killed had overdue books.
And it's the librarian?
Is
Maybe.
Zelda all along?
I'm going to use one of my remaining library clues, Rich, to see if there are overdue books on the records of the 4 people who were killed.
I hate to disappoint that delighted face, but the answer is no.
No, don't worry. No, that's me trying to figure out a way to use these clues. But it's like,
You did it.
How can I use these eggs for recipes before they go bad? It's kind of the same.
You did it.
Okay, I've got one more.
Your eggshell's cracked.
Well,
because we also don't know motive either. Like, it's one thing to find the coincidence that we're in the library, but it happened to me, and I'm not feeling like killing everybody who was here that night. So like, there's got to be something beyond just coinciding with the location and the change.
Nick gets up and goes over to the nearest computer that's part of the library network.
Yes,
Okay.
there are a number of computers.
Great. So I go over and I pull up the library's catalog. I'm trying to do a search under, let's see, fiction, large, ferocious monsters.
Here, move over. Let me help with that. I've got one more, and I'll use my last clue. I'm in the terminal next to him.
Okay.
I see what he's doing, but I tried to use my leftover juice or clue. No clue. It was a leftover clue.
It's a clue. Yep. What's the question?
Trying to find if there's any literary or historical references to a large beast-like stampeding death creature.
So I mean, the answer to that is gonna be yes, because library.
Yeah.
So I just want to like dig in a little deeper on like the like, what are you specifically looking for? If there's like, what books are out that like fit that classification,
Or books that would have things like that in it. I was looking for fiction specifically rather than historical, just because of the size of it. So yeah, like if there's any particular, like if that comes up and it's just like, whatever that, what was it, Daelis's book of myths, like that old children's book, like like what's the hit that comes up? What are the hits that come up if I search that? Because that might be able to narrow down possibly the creature that did this.
Although, to be fair, historical references of large stampeding death-like creatures is probably pretty small as well.
Yes.
I would think there would be more in fiction, but then again, Hannibal brought those elephants. So let me just Kurt, what's the specific question? If the answer is like, are there those creatures? Like the answer is yes, right? So like, what, like hone in the question a little bit sharper.
What books can we look at that are in this library that would have a creature like that in it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that the problem still brings us to like there are so many,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like a lot. Like you need to distill in like closer to that. Like I think that Iggy's clue can retrieve like that list. Sure. We have the story tag of like monster books in the library of one if you want.
so
do
I have
you-
a question. I
Mhm.
have one more clue from the crime scene that I
Mhm.
haven't burned. So I don't know specifically though what I can ask for here that would align with it. But I feel
Mhm.
like that clue could spark something to be like, oh, this,
Can we combine clues in some way? Like my library resource clue and his crime scene clue, can those be used synergistically to get to something?
Clue.
Yeah, so again, it's the idea of like the method and the source, right? Like Nick found his clue literally investigating the crime scene. Iggy found his clue researching in the library, right? So you certainly can. Like in other words, Nick could use his clue to ask like I don't know, something like very specific, like what are the exact kind of like tracks or injuries? Like what type of animal do you think you can identify if you wanted to focus in like that?
yes, that would be helpful. Like what type of animal? Because that certainly can allow me to put that into a search parameter, which would narrow down searches.
hmm Okay, so I think that the what type of animal comes back to you with the difficult answer that it was more than one type of animal. This person looked to have been gored by antlers that like you could tell because of your medical training like would like curve down and in, but they also appear to have been like gored by tusks that like would come up and down, and there were
Whoa.
footsteps of different sizes. There was bludgeoning and crushing of different sizes from like what looks like bovine hooves that are like big, very big, to literally the feet of an elephant.
Were there two of each type of animal at the crime scene?
That's a separate question. You'd have to go back to it.
Because I think I might know what that means, but
It's very funny, actually.
Is there in the search like mythological creature or like mythological creature with many animal features, like something to like search for the like that essentially?
Okay, so now we get to Iggy's clue. As you're like doing the search, you have the massive list of books. Like with that information that Nick has been able to provide, what's the question, Iggy?
what fictional lore contains either a single animal with the aspects of tusks, antlers, bovine like in some regard, or these types of creatures seen together in some sort of tale?
Okay, so I think that as you're like digging, there's
Is
some
that fair,
time
Kevin?
going on.
Nick?
Yes. I don't know about the second part, but I'll go yes, just in case. I don't think it's
think there's
multiple
some-
animals. I think it's just one thing, but I could be
So,
wrong.
yeah.
I could be very wrong.
I think it takes some time as we're seeing like Iggy dig in and he's like referencing like what he knows, and Iggy and Nick are talking back and forth a little bit. And I think that you come up with a
like this,
I think you come up with a much shorter list of what looks like probably like less than a dozen entities that are shapeshifters, notoriously that are affiliated with this. But I think that one of them is like standing out very clearly to you, Nick.
I was gonna say, do I see
As, like-
this and do I? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll like give it right to you. I will hand it off here to you. Like the question is like, is this even affiliated with the book you had that day? But I think you see what what you're expecting to see here, Kevin. There is in fact like two names that are these mythological figures tethered together. One of which is embodied by a buffalo spirit that shapeshifts.
Nick sees that and immediately like jumps up out of his seat almost and is just like, oh, fuck. The swearing, but definitely drops an F-bomb from it.
We're in a library, Nick. I mean, doctor.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay. I need to sit down for a moment as I go back to the table and like sit down. Oh.
Meanwhile, Asher and Jonathan and Lyra, as these two have been like working over the computers, like Nick obviously gets up and comes over, but is there anything of note that's going on with you three?
Lyra's been like, she stood up and like has been kind of like not over their shoulder, but standing behind them and watching them work.
Sure. I think, Lyra, you're not precisely sure what exactly Nick just read off that screen, you know? But there's a whole ton of names there that, like, titles, books, stories.
Nick, you want to tell us what's going on?
Okay. So, whoever's doing this, if this is right, if it's what I think it is, it's pretty connected to what's going on with me specifically. Okay, so, well,
it was a medical intern?
Oh God, I wish.
Your sister's mad at you again?
We don't know anything for certain.
You know how it's really seeming that all of us are being affected by some sort of myth or legend or text or something. So the thing that affected me, I was trying to learn more about it. You think I would know more, but I've always been sort of disconnected from my own culture a little bit. But as far as I can tell, I'm basically possessed by or embodied by or whatever it is that's happening to it by a goddess named Durga, who is essentially the Hindu warrior goddess, a slayer of evil, demons, just essentially someone whose job it is to kill evil things, does it well. And the most famous legend about her has her fighting a demon that was called like, oh man, like a buffalo demon, but he could shapeshift. He could change into all these different creatures, these animal aspects. God, I'm trying to remember the name. That's what I was looking at earlier, and I saw it here. That's what it rang a bell. Man, I'm gonna probably butcher the exact pronunciation here, but
I think it is Mahishasura.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just double checking here. Mahishasura. And if that's the case, that's very much linked to me. This thing and Durga battled. She was the only thing that was able to kill it, and if she wasn't, who knows what it was going to do to the rest of the world? But I can't. That's not me. I can't do this. I can't fight that thing.
Hey,
and if it is that, I don't know what we're supposed to do.
Sounds like it's exactly you.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, listen, that's an option. That's something that's possible. And listen, like, we've all been... I wanted to say it earlier. We're reaching out so far, and we haven't even stopped to establish what the hell is going on with us. And Nick, thank you for starting.
I mean, like, we know.
No, we don't.
We're here. We know.
No. I think that we need to establish some clear lines here. Are we going to work together on this?
We are working together on this.
We need to commit and we need to know each other if we're going to use our strengths.
I've told you guys everything you need to know about me. There's nothing that I've left off the table.
Come on, you guys. This is coming from me.
Oh no, I get it. I don't know what else I could tell you that you don't already know. I mean, Nick, you're not facing this alone.
Yeah.
I mean,
Your sister sounds like she would love to help you. I kid.
If anything, she would just make fun of me for not even knowing more about this. I should have spotted it. I should have known if I kept up with this stuff.
Listen, again, this is one option. Let's keep our minds open here. Because we don't know. It's definitely, kind of fits a little bit, but...
And we do want to stop this thing. Like, we want to stop people in our city from getting killed.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I mean, I don't want to force you into it, but if this is fate, you can't fight fate.
We
sure would like to.
This doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
Even if we hadn't put two and two together, or if we're wrong about putting two and two together, our goal was still to figure out what was going on and to stop it from happening.
Yeah.
If anything, having it more clearly defined is only a good thing. The thing is, I don't know what to do next. I zero leads. Other than waiting for the next death and investigating whatever we find from that.
Do we stake out the docks and
How big
try
are-
to prevent the next death?
How big are the docks, Rich? Is it like staking out Brooklyn?
It's not as big as Brooklyn, but I mean, it's a neighborhood, a district. Like it's many blocks. It is not like a small little area. That said, all of you have some interesting skill sets. You can split up for certain.
I think we should call Fred and see if Fred wants to help us. And talk to Billy.
Oh.
Get a network
Fred-
of eyes.
Yeah. I mean, we
Listen,
can give Fred his phone back. We have Billy's number, and I'm not so concerned about him calling Billy anymore.
Well, listen, I'm gonna kind of swing it back and repeat myself here. I know
was
some of what you
hoping
guys
you
can
wouldn't.
do. I don't really understand it, and I want to understand. If we're gonna be a team and work together, we should know what we can do.
Yeah, well, you can go invisible, and Jonathan can fly, and I can see the future.
And
It's
why is
whatever.
that? And why is that?
I don't care.
What?
Whoa.
I don't care. It's a part of my life now, and I'm just trying to get by.
All
I mean,
right.
sure.
Man, I
Maybe
super
that's easy
care.
for you. There's some of us, it's not exactly an easy thing to just get by when you got something that basically just wants to kill anything it feels is evil.
Which I'm
It's
surprised
done.
that you and I get along, Nick. I gotta say.
Wait,
I mean,
why?
Nick. Go ahead.
This sounded like a good idea in my head, and now that we're doing it, why do I have to go next?
Yeah,
Forget it. Forget it. We talked
I was
about
just like,
it.
oh no.
So I, didn't do a lot before this. And I obviously like to come here and read. And big fan of Lord of the Rings.
Not familiar.
Sorry, I glitched out for a moment.
It's okay.
Just saying, big fan of Lord of the Rings. Reading it, and
I mean, I've seen the movies a few times. They're pretty classic,
Well,
right?
then-
I mean,
yeah,
pretty old
then,
at this point.
then you kind of know, the evil thing that it's all about.
Orcs.
Oh.
It was all about turning invisible. Oh my god!
Doron?
You're
Oh.
You're Smog?
no the actual thing, the thing that turns the Hobbit dude invisible. How is that possible? You're an object thing? Like we can be imbued by
Whoa,
symbols and
whoa.
objects. It's
Yeah, like
Oh, come on.
Oh, an object, maybe.
Are you sure you're not Gollum?
Easy.
Pretty
Well-
positive I'm not Gollum.
Oh, that's not good. This seems bad. I don't. Well, I'm
Like I can
not.
sense things. Like I don't just like go invisible. Like you guys don't know anything about Lord of the Rings. Huh? Anything?
I mean,
Honestly, coming
Just
up
the
with
movies.
Sauron was a
All right.
miracle.
Well, it's like ghost like, okay? It's like kind of go into like ghost mode. You know? So I'd have like this like sixth sense for things, and I don't know.
Are you dead? Are we all dead?
I kind of have one of those.
Jonathan, I think you feel your phone buzz. You got a text.
All right, popular. And I flip it open.
You got a flip phone
You
too?
also have a flip phone
Oh,
too.
definitely. He uses burners.
You flip the phone open, and it's from a number that I don't think you have added to the phone next, and just like full caps. It says, should have told me Erastus Inc. owned 3/4 of locations. Don't hold out on me, Keeley. Dash Perez.
Okay, Perez is still unhappy with us.
Shocker.
What did she say? That was from her?
Yeah, that was from her, and I show it to everyone. She doesn't like it that we're withholding any sort of information.
Since she's the one amongst all of us that's actually renting property from this guy, you think she'd have a better feel for like where he's got
Who
his.
she's doing business with.
Yeah.
That's not our job.
Although she made it very clear that she was superior to us in every single way. So screw her.
I agree.
I mean, yeah, screw her.
I could probably.
But like, I was, all right, kind of like Lyra. I've got a bit of a sixth sense thing, like for some reason I can like kind of sense danger or like the future just a tiny bit. And this morning I pushed it like real hard, thinking about Perez, seeing like, is this the bad guy, But I really get the feeling that it's higher above, like it goes further than just her. Like I think Erasmus, like that, she's after that.
Yeah.
It's Erastus or Erasmus, right? Or he's got a bunch of names. And
Just
he
call
goes
him,
back, he's got a little.
why are we calling him Archie? Why are we not taking this opportunity to call him Archie? Like, let's take this guy down a peg. His ego is about the size of the city.
3/4
Jeez.
of what locations exactly?
What did it say, Rich? Could you repeat it?
I put it in the chat of Roll20. It says, should have told me Erastus Inc. owned 3/4 of the locations. Don't hold out on me, Keeley.
Yeah, what locations?
The club, maybe?
Yeah, do we know?
I thought we told her that he owned the club.
I think that there's a beat here, Jonathan, where you're like, wait, like, did we withhold anything? Like, is she assuming we knew something we didn't know?
That's
Like,
what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Thank
Huh?
you.
Is
All right,
that
I'll text her back. And yeah, I think Jonathan texts back, "Hey Perez, ... not holding out on you, ... Still don't know what you're talking about, ... Please don't be mad." And then I send.
sent?
In
To
T9
understand
Send
completely.
message.
... kiss, kiss, sent.
XOXO.
Shrug emoji, unhappy emoji, cry
That
face
really
emoji,
Monkey
skull
covers my
emoji.
eyes emoji.
Magnifying glass
cracked me up.
emoji. Detective emoji.
Emoji. Oh god. Okay.
Detective
My goodness.
emoji. So yeah,
Oh my
you shoot it
goodness.
off, Jonathan.
Is Zelda around?
She is. Yeah, you hear her like moving about behind the stacks and stuff, not that far from where you are.
You guys don't think that he owns the library is a public place, right? He can't own the library. I'm just trying to think of like 3/4 of the locations
I
implies a fixed set of locations and a subset of those that he owns. I'm just wondering like what is
I mean, would they be like buildings down at the docks?
Yeah,
Can we
like how
look
many
up,
people?
Because you would have to, like, the land itself would have to have been purchased.
we didn't do any investigating into like where like outside what kinds of building like it was just what was the building that the body was outside, Rich? Was it just generic warehouse number 17?
It was like like lot next to a rundown, smashed up warehouse, right? It was in like this big open lot behind the warehouse, down like right on the water's edge, kind of.
Probably nothing there.
Might be the warehouses.
Maybe.
Is Divinity Estates the name of just that building, or is that the name of like Erastus's like real estate company?
Nope, it was that building. It was
Okay.
specifically like that tower.
Because
Yeah.
on that floor that Erastus's office was on, there was also like a toy maker's shop. And
Right.
There were other businesses.
I mean, we're at the library with internet and computers. Can we like do some research on Erastus Inc. and like
Sure.
see what else Erastus Inc. owns?
Absolutely, you could. I think like some even like basic research indicates that it's a very like wide reaching company that Erastus like he inherited this money as you established last time, but he made it again many times over like in real estate through most of his adult life, right? So you could see like Erastus Inc. is like holding all these other corporations underneath it. They're small like umbrella corporations. Like it would take some roles for you to dig into specifics about like this place or that place, but it owns a ton of stuff in the city and a ton of stuff in the docks. Like that's all easy for you to access in terms of information.
Why do I get the feeling that the word shell company is going to come up at some point during the search?
Yeah, speaking of Erastus, I still think we should like check out his stuff going on and maybe like stake out his situation. But again, can't get too close because of his little magic alert system.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Erastus isn't involved in some way, and we don't know a ton about what's going on beyond this, but in terms of whoever's killing everyone, if it is what I think it is, then this person ain't working for anyone. It might be completely something else. Oh no. Oh God.
Oh no?
It's looking for people in the library, right?
It seems to be.
If it knows what it is, it means that it knows.
Rich's face right now.
Yeah.
It means that it knows there's only one person that can kill it, but it doesn't know who that person is. Could they be killing these people looking for me?
I was
Sure.
hoping you would get there before we got there.
Oh God. Oh no.
I hope that's not the case because I'd feel real guilty if that was.
Oh yeah, you think?
Nick,
I
don't
think,
listen.
I really think.
Take
Oh,
this
no.
all, dude. Listen,
Nick is
just
pacing back and forth.
Nick, it's all.
Oh no.
I might
Listen,
throw up.
we're figuring this out, all right? We're all really confused again. This is one option of things that it could be. Did it? You said it can like shapeshift, like that's why the body looked the way it did, maybe.
It can call on the attributes of like different animals. It's a demon, so
Right,
it's
but
able
so
to.
would it? I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to
Sure,
think.
I
of
think
different.
as everybody's talking and you're sitting here like kind of researching on your laptop or asked to think, I think you notice that you've got like a bunch of emails from the day, and if you were like scan through them casually, I think you see that there are like 3 pitches in there for documentary projects that are like, oh yeah, like come in and give us your pitch. They're like funding opportunities for filmmakers, which it just like I think strikes you that you're like, oh wow, like you probably get a handful of these every week, but to like catch a handful at once, you're like, oh, like that's unusual.
Okay.
Jonathan, did you text Perez back?
Oh, I didn't hit send.
What did you say to her?
I told her that we didn't know what she was talking about. I didn't know. And I hoped that she wouldn't be mad.
I mean,
Please.
it sounds like she was mad. She sent a text in all caps. That means she's mad.
Is that what that means?
Generally,
Yeah.
or excited.
Or a grandparent?
Yeah. True.
I think Jonathan looks over at the pacing Nick, and he's like, "Look, Nick, you said that in this story, Durga won, right? Like the goddess defeated the demon."
Yeah, in the story, in the myth, but that story and
but-
myth, this is completely different.
If this,
Is it?
Do you know how it happened? Maybe we can help out. I don't
Well-
want to make it just to you. I don't want to offer you up as bait to this thing. If we can help you defeat it,
Yeah, we're here.
we can share that.
Well, there is one part of the myth that's going to complicate things, I think, with the way things are set up. And hey, Lyra, this might actually be a little familiar considering your connection here. The reason Durga was able to win is because no man could kill him. So Durga was able to do it. That sort of complicates situations here, considering everything.
Pretty badass.
That's great.
well,
She also wrote a lion. I would really like one of those one day. It'd be cool. It'd be like that old cartoon. You know, from the mid 2000s, He-Man. You ever saw that? He doesn't know the original one from the 80s. He only knows the remake.
um, well, one of 2 things then, right? It's either A, it sticks to the original myth, and your inner goddess can defeat it, or this is, like you said, reality and not the myth, in which case there's a whole group of us that can help.
Also, Nick, do you know anything about this demon? Did it have a lair? Did it have a place that it always would like be?
I don't, but I mean, we are in a library. We could look up information,
Look
but
it
I feel
up.
like this is also one of those like break points, right? In a way. But I feel like we can't stay here researching. If this thing is looking for me and other people are dying because of it, I can't.
So what else
Can't
can we
just
do,
take-
Nick? We're doing
I have-
everything that we can.
I mean, I gotta go to the docks, and
Well, we have to go to the docks.
Yeah. You're not going alone.
Yeah.
But I think you might be right. That's the only thing I can think of is laying a trap of some sort. Get us the most advantage we can have against a shape-shifting demon.
Should we talk to Billy? Maybe, like, I don't know if he cares about this. Maybe he can help us. He said that he's changed too.
we could try.
It's true.
I mean, weapons could help, I guess.
Yeah,
So
dude.
what do you guys-
Durga have? Yeah. Keep going, Rich.
Oh no, I'm saying, what are you guys gonna do, right? We're all, I think you're all like sitting here like quietly, right? We
I think
see
that's the
like
big question.
weapons could help. You've talked about like
Yeah,
research.
planning.
You're here at the library. You certainly can do more research. Like, I'm happy to like sit here and linger in this moment. I just want to make sure I'm giving you all an opportunity to act, if that's like where we're at, if there's things occurring, like if you're looking to investigate, if you want to try to call Billy, if you want to go look for things, like, I don't know, what do you guys want to do?
I mean, want to get Billy a call again? Should we try and gather some more people? See if... I don't know. Should we just try and go stake out first? See if we can even see anything?
Yeah, I feel like if there's I mean, we could, as we have been wont to do, we could split the party a bit and see what happens. But I feel like Nick's instinct is to just go to the docks, even without the research, because the longer that he waits, someone else could die, and he doesn't want to be there or be responsible if it is him. So his instinct is to just go to the docks and try to face destiny, which he doesn't even really believe.
Well,
in.
how many days has even been? It's only been a couple days. Not even, like, right since the last
yesterday.
murder.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
it's
24
like, yeah.
hours since last night. Yep.
And they've been kind of spaced out.
That's true.
So,
Can we discern any pattern in the timing?
In relation to the lore, even?
I don't think that we could.
No, yeah, I think you guys dug into this in like some of your investigations, and like it was kind of erratic. They've gone on over the course of the last month. There's no like consistency really there.
So
I don't know if, like, now that we suspect a specific entity, I didn't know if there was something in its lore that's like, it will have 3 days of fasting followed by a large meal followed by 17 days of fasting. Like, I didn't know if there was anything specific to this entity from a timing perspective.
I mean, I don't want to just throw out stuff because there's obviously the difference between Kevin and Nick in terms of like knowledge.
Well, so yeah, what it comes down and says, like, if you want more knowledge of Mahishasura and like the details of that like is a role that's going to involve like an investigate role probably that'll give you like clues, and you can ask some specifics about like, okay, what do we know about this thing?
Also, we should remember that we're assuming this thing is a person who got affected by this. And this person is, Nick, much like you, like, there's a really powerful and evil creature like within this person, supposedly. They might be trying to fight it off, and maybe that there's a battle in that person that's like trying to keep them from not hurting people, but they go to what they hope maybe is a secluded location or something, but they just can't control it. You can only hold it back for so long.
I mean, if we could talk to this person and have them stop, then I would love a peaceful solution to this. I don't want to hurt whoever this is. I know what I'm going through. I know what we're all going through with this thing. If they're going through the same thing...
Because we don't even know if these things are removable.
But Nick,
These things.
What we are.
These
Where'd that
things.
voice come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, who's that?
Who said that?
Zelda,
These things.
mind your own business. I'm all for staking out. Like I have a feeling it's not gonna do any good tonight, given that it's never attacked twice in 2 nights in a row. But
But I think if it's looking for Nick in particular, or what you represent, what you hold inside you, maybe that scent will be irresistible.
you guys were suspicious of Lyndon, right?
Yeah.
And you crossed paths and didn't.
But
There was
he
no at least.
recognized-
Yeah.
He seems to recognize us. Maybe it wasn't me he was recognizing.
Well, I didn't get into that alley until after, like, just as he was leaving, so I missed everything with him. Okay,
Yeah.
stake out.
I mean, again, we could split
Yes.
the party. We
I-
also remember it is 2080. We have phones. So
Yeah, and
if
we
one
need
of us
to know
goes
more
stake
about
out
this
and other
thing.
people research, we could text each other.
I mean, I'm pretty good sneaking around. So is Jono.
Yeah.
I like that he's Jono now. Well,
Yeah.
that evolved.
BFFs.
Okay, so the 5 of you start like gathering your stuff together and are going to make your way out of the library. You're going to head down to the docks and split up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I think that you make your way outside. We see you all, like the 5 of you, making your way out of the front doors of this vast public library, as it were, in this old quarter of town. The lights like washing over these big wide marble steps leading down to the street. The camera like pulling away, the neon like suffusing everything, right? The mist kind of blanketing it. Tail lights and headlights like trailing on and off through the routes of the city. And I think we fade and we come back in as the 5 of you are like, God, I'm not sure how you got there, but you're walking down a street in the docks, right? We hear the distant sound of like the surf crashing up against the seawall. I think we catch like a low foghorn ball, right? There's like kind of, dive bars and local storefronts and ruined warehouses all abound. The traffic much slower here, sparse in the streets, beaten up, run down kind of vehicles along the sidewalks themselves. And so as the 5 of you are kind of like now walking down towards the water in the docks, what's your plan exactly? How would you want to do this?
Are there still like police and stuff around?
As you like glance like down the streets towards where the crime scene was from the night before, you don't notice any police cars there. I think we probably see some of like the yellow crime scene tape like flickering haphazardly in the wind under a street lamp,
Lyra will like kind of lean to Escher. Do we want to maybe like shoot a text to Billy and ask him if maybe he's seen his homeless people have seen anybody that's hiding? Maybe seems like crazy. I can only imagine that this person is like in constant torment with themselves. Maybe maybe he can keep an eye out.
Yeah, should we tell him what we're doing?
Yeah,
Sure.
I think so.
Okay. So Escher will text Billy and say, we think, like, something to the effect of, we think the person who has been doing the murders.
Committing is usually the word.
Sure.
Yeah, the killer.
Committing the murders. Maybe mythologically opposed to Nick. So we'll be at the docks. ... Let us know if you have any leads. ? Send.
Okay, and I think it's like not long after you hit send that you get the first reply back of like, "Oh shit, that sounds heavy."
This is a child.
Great
Love
stuff.
it. Yeah.
And then I think that it's like a moment later, right? You're like, oh, okay, you're about to like close the phone when you feel like buzz again as like the next text comes in, and I think it says, "Be careful down there. Check out the buffalo wallow."
The what? Asher's gonna
Says-
send that back.
It's a bar. It's a bar.
Well, that seems
So-
fortuitous.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So Asher will share that information with the group. Guess that's
That
where
seems
we should go.
fortuitous.
Yeah.
Have any of us heard
I
of the
think-
buffalo wallow?
Yeah, you have. You probably definitely have, Iggy, as you're like aware of these the culinary scene here in the city, and this place is known for not having good food. Jonathan, you've definitely eaten here many
Yeah.
nights. And I think Escher, actually, you catch like one more text. Bzz. Like you open it up and there's a picture on the screen of the flip phone, the crappy little screen. And as you have to like kind of zoom it in to like orient what's going on, you could see it's kind of like a grainy, like kind of off-centered photograph of a map. And there's like these 4 red marker spots and a circle. And like kind of in the center-ish of it is this bar, the Buffalo Wallow.
Oh.
Are any of those markers on the library?
No.
Okay.
Are those?
But as
So
you-
are those were like the murders?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there were
Think-
4.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
so what's her name? The police lady.
Perez.
Perez.
Senior
She said
Special
she
Agent
said
Perez.
3 out of the 4 Erastus owned.
Yeah.
I
And one
thought all
of
the murders happened at the docks,
They did.
but like
But at different
different locations within the
Yeah.
docks. I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's always the one that the one that we checked out was just an open lot. I mean, I guess technically he could own an open lot,
Mm-hmm.
but let's just assume that he owns 3 of these 4 locations. Buffalo Wallow, huh?
So he'd
But not the
So he
buffalo.
might
Walls.
own the
That's in
buffalo.
the middle of
Yeah.
that.
Right.
some way.
He
Like,
might.
Nick, have you haven't come face to face with him yet? You haven't,
Who's
right?
doing this?
No, Erastus.
Oh, he passed us by when we were trying to get into that club.
That's true.
Right.
Seemed privileged.
Yeah, the other side of this coin is that this isn't a person in torment. This is a person that is relishing in what they have received and is a cold-blooded killer.
I'm gonna
Well,
go.
that's great.
I'm gonna go to the Buffalo Wallow's website and see if I can find anything that indicates who owns them.
It doesn't say clearly on the website.
Is there like a
itself. You would have to
Rastus
make a
restaurant
roll.
group part of?
No. No.
Or like at the bottom, like
Yeah,
website
that's what I was
made by like.
I mean, I guess I should go to the Buffalo.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are
Do you have
standing
any
here.
weapons? I feel like we need to get you a weapon.
I mean, a real weapon would be great, but technically, yeah, I've got weapons around.
anything will
As
do.
I like look around the area, I'm like, Yeah, technically I've got weapons around.
I've seen Nick use weapons. He's
Mhm.
fine.
Yeah.
And I think as we walk towards that Buffalo Hollow, Jonathan's like, "We gotta boost your confidence, man. You gotta build yourself up more."
Yeah.
This is like the club all over again.
Mhm.
But, you
And
know,
you were great. You were
way
so
more
great.
violent.
Is it Buffalo Hollow or Buffalo Wallow?
Wallow.
Okay.
Follow.
Yep. Like a buffalo
Hope they have
wallowing
wings
in the mud.
because I could use some Buffalo Wallow wings.
Wallow wings.
So the five of you are gonna
Notoriously
like,
bad, he said this.
yeah, it really is. The five of you are gonna stick together and head to this bar.
Yeah. Yeah, let's stay together for now.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of centrally located in the docks anyway. It sounds like, right?
It is, yes. Yeah.
Because when you talk about great eats, first place that comes to mind, the docks.
Okay. So I think
Yum.
as the group of you are like walking down, you hit a corner and you turn, and you can see like the neon sign hanging off the front of the bar, like a couple of blocks down, like a block and a half down, right? And like it's like a pink neon sign with this picture of like a buffalo kind of like laying down the horns, probably like a little too big or whatever, and you can see a couple of the letters like flickering underneath it. And there's this solid like mass of what looks like half a dozen people kind of clustered out in front of this place underneath the like pink glowing light of the sign as you guys are kind of approaching down the street.
What day of the week is it? Is it a weekday or a weeknight? I mean, sorry, is it a weekend or weekday?
Gosh, there was a specific day of the week. I think it's still a weekday.
Okay.
You guys, I kind of want to Jonathan, you're saying you did a little bit like reaching this morning, and I did a similar thing, and I could feel like the people like us, I could like sense them.
Whoa.
And I wonder if I could do that again. Maybe I'll come back. Because if this place is central, I wonder if there's something going on here. But let's go into this crowd of people.
Well, it's 6 people. It's not that much of a crowd.
That's too many. That is far too many.
It's better than Club Delphi. He was describing a
True.
mass of people. I'm like, oh no, not there's like half a dozen. This is fine. And we don't have to
Fair,
change
fair,
it.
fair.
We're 5 people.
Yeah,
we're
Yeah, we're just
double
doubling
regular.
the size.
Yeah, it's not a group bigger than yours,
Technically,
really,
man.
dramatically.
Still.
As you all, oh gosh, as you all are approaching, you can see they're out here. They're like smoking cigarettes. A couple of them have like beer steins, are kind of like drinking as they're standing out here. They're in like, various kind of states of like kind of rough and tumble clothes, a couple of them with like boots, sneakers, a lot of jeans, there's a few like leather jackets in the mix. Some sort of wild hairstyles. One of these guys has like a mohawk, right? Like a girl with like the hair dyed bright red. And as you all are kind of like approaching, I think like Mohawk is like, you nerds lost?
Oh, come on, man.
I want to do a quick investigation check and see if I know like
Investigation
who they
check.
are, if they're connected to like crime people, because it feels like if this is a bar I've been to, like maybe I
Mhm.
know them or know of, like I know the organized crime in the city. So if they're trying to rough
For
us
sure.
up, maybe I know their boss.
For sure. Okay, so we're gonna have you make an investigate check. What do you have here? Which power tags are you gonna call on?
First, I think I'll do the city's organized crime. Like it feels like if they're like these type of I don't know. It felt like criminals that I'm trying to see if I know who they're connected to, and then also like I own the streets. I feel like this is like a street I've been to before. So like if
Oh yeah. Yep.
if there's somebody I would know of them, and then maybe also contacts in every neighborhood. Those are so
I
similar.
think
I don't know if
contacts
I've
in
done-
every neighborhood. Yeah, they are very similar, but I think contacts in every neighborhood fits.
And I think those are the ones that most make sense. So I've got a 3.
I'm just looking at your weaknesses. I don't think any of your weaknesses are super relevant right here. Okay, go for it. Make an investigate roll with the
All
power
right,
of 3.
investigate power 3.
Here come the dice. So it begins.
There we go.
Ooh,
Wow.
great success.
All right.
So you've got yourself 3 clues, and again, the clues can be used like retroactively. Like you can tell me, like, oh yeah, they are part of like an organized crime family or group, and ask like, which one is it, right? Like you can do very specific things like that with clues. There's like a lot of power that you guys have as players when you get these things to insert stuff into the story, right? But so, Jonathan, you've got 3 clues about this crew or this group out here in front of the bar. What would you like to ask?
Yeah. I think that is the number one. I wanted to know kind of who they're connected to, like what, like what organized crime group are they?
What you know explicitly is they're not like wise guys or part of any type of like top tier high end criminal organization, but they're all definitely part of an illegal fight club that runs out of this bar.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. They're all like brawlers that are like betting money. Like, in other words, the organized crime family they're part of is literally this bar. Like the Buffalo Wallow is like a front for a fighting pit that's like happening in the basement, you know? High stakes, like blood sport.
Cool.
Kumite.
Kumite.
Exactly.
Well, I'm trying to think of what else to discern from them.
Rich, the moment he says, "Are you nerds lost?"
Mm-hmm.
Iggy's going to say, "Are you nerds lost?" You're the one using lines from like the 1980s. It's 2080. Like, who even says that anymore?
Oh God.
And I think Mohawk puffs up a little bit. I just want to check with Jonathan, as this is his like quick assessment of what's going on here before things get too kinetic.
I also want to see, like, if I know they're of a fight club, maybe then I think my next thing is
it's
like,
about to happen on the street.
Did they have weapons other than fists? It looks like, are these kind of people that might, if we popped off, will they show weapons at us?
To find out.
No, you don't think that they have like guns or knives or anything like that. They're probably like, I think that like part of the protocol is the fight club is like, you know, you can't bring shit here that'll get us all like really arrested if the crooked cops show up. So no, you think they only have their physical like bodies as weapons.
Aren't these fists enough?
And then I guess my last one would be like, do I know, are these the type of people that would like defend the namesake of the bar to the death, or could they be swayed with money and other things to like maybe help us out?
Who's got money?
That's
a
promises.
Great question. That's a really great question. You think that you've like, I think, probably seen this crew here before in like various iterations, give or take a handful of folks, and you think that they're not likely to be easily influenced, you know? Like, sure, enough money could buy them, but I think to Escher's point, you're like, well, I don't have enough money to buy them. You know?
Also not a fighter, for what it's worth. Escher's like tall and skinny and spends a lot of time on the computer.
So Iggy, this guy steps forward like, are you nerds lost? And you just kick back at him like, who's the one with the line from the 80s? And he's like, I think he just like looks at his friend like, did I just hear that shit right?
I think Lyra steps up behind Iggy, like, and she has her hood up, and I think she starts like radiating this like aura, like this like aura of like terribleness, like from behind Iggy.
just overwhelming like fear
Yeah,
starts like
just, like,
rolling off of you.
He just wants them to just turn around and walk away.
How does
Okay,
that
so-
work? Is that controllable? Does that hit all of
Yeah.
us?
You guys feel it, but now that you know, like, it's not targeted at you guys.
Well, I think you still do feel it,
Oh,
which is
definitely.
important. So the question is here, you're trying to like intimidate these people, right?
Yeah.
Change the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying, like,
Um,
stepping up behind Iggy, like, give his words, like, much more weight.
This might be hit with all you've got because I think that they're not expecting you to like step up and do this, and you're about to just like really try to scare the shit out of them to get them out of your way, right? I mean, this
Yeah,
is
I
like
just want them
unchecked
to
what
leave
you
us
wanna do.
alone. For sure.
Okay.
Okay.
I think if you're trying to like use your aura of terrible power
Yeah.
to like make them leave, then you're gonna have to roll a hit with all you've got. Actually, it's probably more. Yeah, roll hit with all you've got. Go for it. What power tags you have?
All right. Well, there's my aura.
hmm
Um.
Aura of terrible power. Yeah,
Yep.
got it.
Would my dark clothes come into this? So like have my like
I don't-
hood up. Like,
yeah, I don't know. What do you guys
I don't
think?
know.
Like I don't know. They're dressed kind of rough. Like I'm not sure if dark clothes is
Yeah.
enough to be
Yeah.
extra intimidating.
Don't really think I have much else, honestly.
You can, of course, use your crew tags and your stuff like this if anything applies. Other people can help you or hurt you.
I don't know. Is it dark?
It's dark for sure. Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
there we go. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. I don't think that like emotional fortress helps. I don't think that. Yeah, I don't know.
Nope. I'm looking at the rest of your sheet. Yep. So it is dark, and you have an aura of terrible power, which is like radiating out, kind of overwhelming the lot of them. I think that all of you feel this aura of terrible power begin rolling off of Lyra as she steps in behind Iggy. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna pull on any of your weaknesses here. So go for it. Roll.
Okay.
Hit with all you've got with a +2 for power. Oh, nice. That's really good.
Okay.
Go.
So you're gonna give the target, which is gonna be this group, as the target,
Okay.
a tier, a power tier, a status tier of like 2. So what's the status that you're trying to get them with?
Okay. Appropriate status. I think it's just like intimidated. Or even frightened, maybe?
Yeah, we're gonna say frightened is better, right? They have frightened of 2, and now like you have an extra point that you can burn here. You came up with like 2 on this, so essentially, like, what extra thing you want to get them with? Do you want to get them good and make it like?
I want to
instead of
control the
frightened-
collateral damage.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
And how are you controlling the collateral damage?
I want to not terrify my friends.
Okay. Okay.
Much
So you
appreciated.
step up as Iggy's kind of like at the front of this group, and Mohawk is like getting lippy with them and like doing that like thing, that like 80s standoff thing of like, I'm gonna look at my friends because
Yeah.
it's time to kick some ass.
Yeah.
And suddenly like Lyra comes up behind Iggy, and all of you are like, oh my god. Like after her revelation in the library, the lot of you realize like her words did not ring hollow. There is this aura of terrible power rolling off of this girl that is just like overwhelming. And as like you look to her, I think we see her head glance around at you, and like it checks. It kind of like rolls up against this bulwark on the edge of you and recedes a little bit. But meanwhile, the gang in front of the club, Mohawk is like, I let's get out of here. It's not worth it. Let's get the fuck out of here. And they're all kind of like stumbling backwards a little bit, cigarettes like falling out of their mouth. And I think that the lot of them like just start walking down the street away from the bar. Like they don't want to deal with this.
What was that?
Lyra just like coughs a little bit. Good job, Iggy. You really got him.
Not quite the effect I was going for. I was just standing up for us.
Sorry, I'm not in the mood to deal with people like that right now.
No, I get it.
That was an interesting point. As again, Lyra's like pushing against this, like, don't look at me, except
I was
for me
just
to
about to
intimidate the hell out of all
like,
of you.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, she keeps doing it, but I think that, like, this certainly goes against that. But
Are we marking fate? So this is a thing you could do here. This is like worth us noting. So making a hard choice. You just acted in a way that like made you the full center of all the focus of attention in this thing. Because of something you wanted, which was to like not have to deal with these knuckleheads, right? Like that's kind of like a minor thing, but you just were like, nope, not dealing with it, and so you like pushed against. So the question is like, does that warrant you marking like fade or crack? Are you in fact making a hard choice?
I think that, like, yeah, I think that I need to start recognizing that it is a hard choice for Lyra to even just step up and to like say anything, especially to like use her like power in the middle of this. So yeah, I think so.
Okay, so yeah, mark one crack on your identity.
Right.
The beginning of things
There we go.
fading and changing.
Gotta get better.
Uh,
Paying attention.
And so, like, we see this kind of crew, like, they're walking off. They've made their way, like, to, like, the corner of the street. And there's all these, like, furtive glances back at you, right? As they're, like, looking at the lot of you standing in front of this place. But they turn the corner out of your line of sight. And so the five of you are just standing in front of this bar. The sign, like, you know.
Look,
I hope-
guys. Now that I'm here, I'm just remembering a bit about this bar. Those guys and probably people in there. This is like one of those fight clubs kind of a thing. Like everyone's looking to rumble. So I'm just saying, if we go in there, maybe know that people might rumble on us.
Okay. Well, I hope that what I just did was helpful. Maybe.
My guess
I
is
feel like.
I mean, it prevented us from getting into a fight, so I appreciated it, even though it felt really, really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about fight clubs is it's usually amongst consenting adults, right?
I am not looking to rumble.
Exactly. I think if they started ambushing people and dragging them into some sort of fight pit, there'd be reports. So I'm guessing that this is just amongst consensual adults.
Well, let's just
And
make sure we don't accidentally pick a fight with anyone.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Okay, so the door opens and the five of you begin making your way in, and I think that you pretty quickly hear like it's like Bruce Springsteen playing on like the jukebox, you know what I mean? Maybe we were born to run, and there's a whole bunch of like people around the bar, right? The place is not like packed; it's distinctly different from like Club Delphi
Thank
or anything
God.
like that. But there's solidly like 8 patrons in here besides you. As you come in, there's like 2 or 3 folks kind of at the bar, the bartender like behind the actual bar itself, like bullshitting with them. There's no like TVs or anything like that. As you look around, there's a lot of this very Western imagery of like Marlboro Man posters and stuff like this. I think we see like the head of a buffalo with like a bunch of Mardi Gras beads hanging off of its horns, hanging on one hall. It's like a beat up old pinball machine in the corner and this jukebox like pumping away the Bruce. And a lot of you come in and a couple of folks like glance over at you, but they don't pay much mind.
Does anyone in here look familiar? Like a guy in a cowboy hat, maybe, that we may run
Great
into?
question. As you scan through the place, you do not see Lyndon. You do not recognize him, though there are a pair of cowboy hats in here. You're like, oh, yep, this looks like the kind of place like he might hang out or something like that. But you don't see him in here. None of the folks in here seem familiar to you.
Is
First glance.
is this the sort? Are there any names on the wall? Like literally, is there something about? Oh, you did the Buffalo Bowl and you drank it in an hour, and you get your name on a plaque. Is there anything that's like?
Amazing.
Is there anything that's like? Spoiler alert: Iggy is looking to see like if there's any of the four victims' names were on such a list. But is there?
So as Iggy is like quickly scanning the walls, like checking the place out, you don't see anything like that. There don't seem to be. There's like a menu kind of hanging up behind the bar, and it's one of these very like bar food menus. You know what I mean? It's got like burger, nachos, buffalo wings. It's like
What is bar food like?
Mozzarella sticks. There probably are buffalo wings. They would not have called
What a
themselves.
dream.
Yeah.
Do like
Yeah, there's a variety.
Chips and salsa. Maybe not nachos. No.
And I think the bartender like sees you kind of like clinging over by the door or whatever, and he's just like, "You all in the right place? Drinks?"
yeah, we're looking for
Yeah.
a friend of ours.
Oh,
Know a guy named Lyndon by chance?
and I think like he real quickly looks to like one of the folks that's standing by the bar, and you see a fellow like turn. These couple of people like standing there, like, "What do you want with him?"
We ran into him yesterday, at Club Delphi.
What's he doing, wasting his time at that fucking place? And one of the people next to him is just like, "What do you here? You want to take a shot at the champ?"
Oh,
And the dude next to him like elbows him quickly, like, "Shut the fuck up."
no.
And
we
I
were
think
just-
Jonathan elbows you right back, Nick, and goes, "Yes, you do, yeah."
we ran into him, and he mentioned this bar as a great place. He said he was here yesterday earlier around
Nick,
X and X time between around when the murderers would take place.
I think this is the point where I have to ask you to make a convince roll because they're not inclined to
course.
believe this statement.
Yeah, of course.
So when you're like, "Oh yeah, he told us about this place," I think now you see the bartender's head like tilt as he's looking at you, like, "He what?" So Nick, to make a convince roll, what do we got?
Oh
What
my
kind of
gosh,
tags?
not anything that's gonna be good here. Let's.
You guys
see.
can all use your help and hurt points. Obviously, you got your
Yeah.
crew teams too.
I'll help you out there.
Um.
And what do the help and hurt points do again, Rich?
You can spend them like juice. Like you can basically burn them the same way you would juice. There's a little like description of how you can use juice in this moves handout, if you want to check that out. But you can use them to like help specifically your allies or hurt your allies when they're making rolls.
Okay, I'm gonna try to use not a cliche, assimilate to American culture and keeping up with pop culture, because as I'm talking, I'm saying, yeah, he told us this bar is great because you guys really like Springsteen. And then I started talking about, as Kevin doesn't actually really know country that well, yeah, he's the boss, right? Yeah, Bruce Springsteen.
Yep,
Mhm.
you got it. You
he's
got
the
it.
boss.
Yeah.
You're on it. Yep.
So anyway, yeah, and I mentioned that, and I was like, oh yeah, for sure. You saw that movie, right? Where hang on.
Nick, like scrolling. in his
You saw
brain.
that movie. Well, it's an old one, right? Indian kid loves Bruce Springsteen, blinded by the light. Like that's me, I left my I left my jean jacket at home, so we just kind of came out here because so I'm just using that to try.
I love it. I love it. That definitely justifies the use of assimilated with pop
I was like,
culture.
there's a movie about this. Hang on, I've seen previews.
Amazing.
Cool. So
It's good.
you're rolling with assimilated with pop culture or assimilated with American culture, keeping up with pop culture. And what's the last one?
I might try to go for immigrants get the job done because I'm trying to do a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the 3 I got then.
So go for it. Make a roll with 3. Now hold on a second. Is anybody helping? Jonathan, you said you want to help him?
Yeah. How would I go about doing that? Do I use one of my help points
Yes.
to like donate to him? Okay.
You basically would burn it, and what you get to do is like you can use it as juice. You could like create a story tag that's going to help him out. Is like basically the way that you would do this. So like describe kind of what you would do to help him, and let's see where we think that lands.
Yeah, I think a little bit of it is just kind of like a hand on the small of the back to like make sure his shoulders are standing up straight and just like confidence. You got this. Sell the lie.
Power
Yeah.
pose +1.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
gonna give him a status of like power pose +1. Is that
Oh,
is that what
that's
you want to call
so
it? What do
That's
you
amazing.
exactly it.
Okay.
Oh, I
So
love
you get
it.
to add an extra 1 to your power, Nick, up at the top, like right next to the kind of counter. You can
Mhm.
put 1 in. Yep.
Cool.
Cool. So you're rolling with the power of 4 on a convince. Go for it.
Sweet.
That's amazing.
Hey.
Great success.
Yes!
You all are rolling very,
We're doing
very
great.
well tonight. Okay, so here's the thing again with convince, right? It's kind of interesting. But so you're trying to convince them. Lyndon told me about this place. He said that I could come down here and it was cool and I would fit in. What's the status that you're kind of like threatening them with if they don't believe you? It's the wrong way for me to phrase it, right? But the idea here is either they buy what you're selling or you're messing with them, right?
Got
And
it.
they end up what? So what would be the negative status they end up with if they don't buy this? It's such a different way to
Yeah,
apply the
it's
rules
almost
in an
like I want to
RPG.
say
It takes
like
a minute.
what's the word I'm looking or word I'm looking for properly? It's like off. It's not like necessarily off their game, but in a way, right? They're so thrown off
Mhm.
by me being able to actually answer that question and know like enough about Springsteen and stuff that they're actually like thrown off a little bit. So even if they don't believe me, they're still like, wait, they're not going to be quick in countering other lies, essentially.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. And so because I think that the problem is that they're just like bullshit. Like they don't believe you. And you're giving them this, like, you give them this rundown, and I think they are totally off their game. And the status is like equal to the power you rolled with. So they have like a status tag basically of 4 of like off their game. The bartender, the 2 patrons at the bar, right? And so I think that the bartender is like, Lyndon wouldn't just tell anybody about this place. I don't get it. Springsteen? There's a lot of places that play Springsteen. What exactly are you looking for here?
Man, I don't want to to be like, well, I am going to take a shot at the champ. Okay, fine. Then I like lean over and was just like, okay, fine. We're a little tougher than we look. He told us that this is a bit of a, situation downstairs where you can make some money.
Yeah, well, he wasn't lying about that. Are you looking to scrap? Nothing starts here till after midnight, but
Do we know when the murder took place? Sorry.
the one yesterday was actually like right at like kind of
Wow.
dusk. It was early in the evening. Yeah.
Right. What's the way to play this? I mean, I'm curious about it, I heard about, obviously I know about that movie. I didn't even think this was a real thing back, that actually had happened.
Oh yeah, he's like, you bet it is. This city, well, you can find just about anything if you know where to look.
You said Lyndon's the champ? How often is he fighting?
A couple nights a week. He hasn't been here as much lately. I think he's running with some girl. It's got him downtown all the time. I'm not sure. You saw that crew
Oh,
outside?
yeah.
Those are, that's his gang.
Oh. Well, we probably should have asked them.
He's like,
Um,
the.
so he hasn't been by? I thought he said he came by yesterday before going to Delphi.
He didn't fight last night. No, he wasn't here. He says,
Weird.
2 nights ago, though. Yep. He broke some Italian guy's jaw. Listen, he's came out strong. He's not been around for as long as some of my regulars have, but he started showing up. And this last month, he's really made a name for himself.
Huh. That's interesting. So he's gotten a lot better in the last month, huh?
He's a wild man. I don't want to judge you here, kid, but if you like that handsome face of yours, I wouldn't get anywhere near a punch that he's throwing.
Oh, Aw. That was the best reaction from Kevin. Oh,
Aw.
that's so nice of you.
Okay,
Are we like
well,
all we're all like around you, yeah?
I guess,
right?
yeah. I think the
Yeah,
4 of
I-
you are just kind of like standing. Yeah.
I think Lyra like pokes her head like but from like behind Kevin is like, is there like a fighter you would compare him to?
What do you know about fighters? I think one of them asks. And I think that one of the guys
What do you know about
at
me?
the bar says some like MMA name that I don't freaking know. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, like Bite Bizarre, the Rage Mage. No, I'm just kidding. He's like, he says, he's like, I think so, they like throw out a couple of names at you, right? That's just me being ill-equipped, right? But somebody is just like, oh yeah. He's like
Okay.
Jackie the Screw Totoro, He used to do that thing with the guys' faces back in the day,
Cool. Thanks.
Definitely gives us a lot to think about. I don't know if we'll fight tonight. That seems,
He's like, well, look, weekends. He says Fridays and Saturdays. That's when things get really hot and heavy down in here. He's like, $100 bill that puts you into the ring. If you win, you make more than that going home. If you bet on yourself, you can make a lot more than that. If you bet against Lyndon, well, you better have a deep bankroll.
cool. Okay, well, thanks
Did-
for the info.
Did we ask who who owns the bar?
Oh, good call. So, Jonathan, you should ask that. I nudged Jonathan.
Hey, just because like we love this place, maybe we want to turn this into a franchise and get more of these happening. Who might we talk to? Like, who owns this this lovely place you got here?
This place?
Smart boy.
Yeah, yeah, this place. Come on, like, look, and he gestures around.
He's just like looking at you like a franchise. You really want to talk to the owner?
I really do.
All right, well. And I think he like goes behind the bar and he fumbles around a little bit. And he throws a business card like across the bar itself. And there's a name on the card, a phone number. And so, yeah, I think that the name is, one second. Now I'm like cracking into my notes. It is Mortimer Emerson.
Totally normal name.
It's a perfectly normal name, isn't it?
Nothing evil sounding
No.
about that.
Yeah,
name.
no.
You guys don't know any Mortimers? Come on.
Can't say
Good
that I
stay
do.
on the Morty judgment.
I mean, literary Mortimers, but
I know Mort from a certain book series. Which would not bode well for the rest of us,
It's so great. I like that you guys are afraid of every book that you've ever read at this point.
You describe his voice as two slabs slamming together.
Oh.
Anyway.
The previous deaths, those all made the papers and stuff, right? It's not a
No,
secret.
yeah, they all made the paper. They just weren't like connected as
Oh.
having been like affiliated, right? Like there were deaths happening in the docks. That was the ramp up. Yep.
I'm going to ask the bartender, like, just curious, did like all the recent deaths in the docks hurt your clientele at all? Hurt your business?
Honestly, they haven't been great. Things took a little bit of a dip there, but well, people are coming to see Lyndon fight. The fights have picked up. He has a real little contingent around him these days.
Were the fights happening the days of the murders?
Yeah, look.
Good question.
Well, the fights are only on Fridays and Saturdays, right?
They pop up during the week sometimes, but only if the right crew is here. He's like, now that you mention
Like a
it.
D&D game.
Yeah, right. He's like, now that you mention it, I think they all happened on nights where we weren't doing anything. I'd have remembered if the cops were swarming down onto the neighborhood while we had, well, you know, a full basement.
It sounds like some of them are happening. Like if the fights don't happen till midnight anyway, like not all the murders are taking place at night. Iggy just says openly.
did you guys have like a champion like before Lyndon?
Nobody ever dominated as consistently as him. Most folks come in here and they get their clock cleaned. They don't show up for another couple of weeks, but he's in here regular.
Gotcha.
Doesn't matter if he fights 6 guys on Friday, he's right back in on Saturday.
What did you say it was, Rich?
Oh, right now?
A weekday.
It's a weekday. I think it's
Thursday?
Thursday.
He said it's a
Yeah,
weekday.
I think it's Thursday night.
Thursday?
Yeah.
You know, maybe I will take a shot at the fight. Let's say tomorrow.
Oh. All right, well, I'll let your buddy know.
Well, yeah. Pass it around. You know, I may not look it, but feel like people may have heard of me under my fight name. Maybe you could spread the word about who'll be fighting.
What's the name?
Durga.
And I think that there's like a moment where like yeah, we hear the wind blow through the bar, right? And he's like, all right, sure.
Cool. So yeah, let everyone know. And definitely will be here tomorrow.
Got it. Just Durga? You got any color there? Durga the Destroyer?
No. Let's just do Durga.
Okay. I'll let folks know.
Thanks.
You guys be careful
We
out
should
there.
go.
There's a murderer around.
Don't we want to get a drink? Thirsty?
Oh, sure.
I mean, it
You all
sounds
wanna
like
have a
we'll be
drink.
back tomorrow.
The
Yeah.
road. Yeah.
You guys could grab drinks. Sure. Do you like walk out with
Yeah.
beers on the street, or you hang out here and drink them? What does that look like?
I don't know what are the liquor laws in this
Uh-huh.
city.
Cares.
It's
We're at an illegal
Yeah,
fight
you're
club.
in an
bar. I don't
illegal
think
fight
we
club,
can
and you're
do
already
that.
being hunted by like
We're
a
not
team of
exactly
special
in a reputable part
agents.
of
Yeah,
town.
the open container is not going to be the deal breaker for you. You know. I love it. But Nick still cares. It doesn't matter if you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Nick
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
cares. Um,
I'll get some scotch in a to-go cup.
Oh, what a phrase.
Honestly, that sounds a lot less crazy these days. I'd be lying if I said I haven't done that in the last year.
um,
Well, it's technically legal
the
lately.
way we have adapted.
Jonathan asked for like a 24-ounce PBR in a paper bag.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Tall boy.
Oh,
For sure. Iggy's got his to-go cup.
Well, night's just getting started.
PBR?
Man knows what he likes.
Nice.
What?
Actually, you know what? That's Zed talking. Escher absolutely drinks PBR.
Asher's like, make that too. Okay, so I think the
Yeah.
lot of you like make your way out onto the front street. And I think that you see this gang of 5 people, 6. They're not really a big gang. That like kind of ran off from Lyre before. They're all kind of clustered at the corner. And as the 5 of you come out, they're like starting to like make their way back down the street towards you.
Oh, damn.
So the question becomes, you guys like have a minute here, like you can respond. What do you want to do as they're like coming back?
Go in the opposite direction.
Yeah, are we
I
moving?
feel like
Or should we talk to
if we
them?
get their attention, we can like guarantee that their boss comes. I mean, I know we've already floated the name to the bartender, but we could kind of underline it with these guys. Like really make him want to come. Make it seem like a big fight.
We could give it
I
a
think
shot.
he's gonna show up anyway, most likely. I mean,
That's true.
I'm fine like avoiding them and just like heading
Yeah.
onto the docks.
Don't
We
wanna
don't have to
explain.
engage.
Yeah, let's
True.
walk. Let's walk. We'll be back. They'll be here.
Okay. So you start to turn and walk away. Jonathan, are you going with them? Do you linger?
Yeah, I'll go with them, but I think I give those guys a little knowing nod, like we'll see you later, kind of like right in the eye.
And I think it's one of these things where like you guys are moving down the street, they're moving along, and they kind of stop and linger in front of the bar as you all have walked away, and you reach the other corner of the block, like looking back at them, and you could see them all like kind of like circled up, you know, like whispering at each other intensely. And Lyra looks back. And there's like the moment where like Lyra's staring at them, and we could almost see them like shrink back a little bit from her terrible power, and they do not follow as the lot of you like head around the corner. So where does this leave us? Where are you guys going? What's the rest of your night? Is there a rest of your night?
Yeah, let's go.
I mean, this would be the point where we could do research if we wanted
Sure.
to.
Yeah.
Or we could all just go to bed.
Well, I thought we were
Have an
going to
easy night.
Yeah,
I
we're
thought
gonna
we were
go.
Staking out. That's not the plan.
Well,
Yeah, try to
No.
check out.
Can.
I mean, I guess we could, because like the whole we went there to, like, if the word is getting out that the person that they're looking for is going to be there tomorrow.
yeah, Zed wants to fast forward to tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
make
like
it
important
happen.
to know. Okay.
Sure.
Do the rest of you guys want to fast forward to tomorrow? Is there anything else that needs to be taken care of?
I mean, if we wanted to do the research, I guess that's the montage
Sure,
part, right?
we can. We can like kick right into montage mode. If you guys are all up with that, I just want to make sure everybody's okay. If there's anything else anybody wants to do independently tonight, you could do that.
No, I mean, as part of the montage, I'd probably actually go over to my family's tonight because my assumption were things could go tomorrow.
Oh.
I dig it. So, okay. So I think that we then see the 5 of you separate, heading to like your various dwellings for the night. As it's decided, like, no, we don't need to stake anything out and wander around the docks. Like, we've got a pretty good bead on what's happening here and how we're gonna like try to like get connected. And so you go your separate ways, and this brings us into the montage itself. So yes, if you have an idea of what you want to do with your montage,
Yes. Interesting, actually.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my page. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I am gonna go over to my family's house for a double situation. One, to spend time with them in case. In case. But also, while I'm there, eating with them, or afterwards, just as we're all together, I do ask my mom about my mythos, and ask my mom and dad any information, like, oh, hey, the story of Durga. Well, can you tell me about
So
that?
technically, this is you working the case with your parents, right?
I was gonna say explore your
Oh,
mythos.
okay.
So,
It could be that too. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that's how I'm exploring it, by questioning the people who know
I
about
got it. So which mystery specifically, which one of your theme books, which mystery are we digging into?
How specifically did Durga beat Ashura Shura?
Ah,
Hishashura.
okay.
Mahishashura.
So you get this clue from digging into your mythos as you're talking to your parents, and so I think that your mother is like retelling the tale to you, and she's just like, well, like it was said that Mahishasura went through great many trials and tribulations to achieve the power that he had. In some stories, it said that he stood on one foot for many years, like in service to the gods, to show his strength, because he believed that through this like path of asceticism, he could like gain absolute power. And so he finally was awarded by the gods a gift, and he asked to be immortal, to live forever. And they told him, you cannot live forever, but we could give you something else. Like, what would it be? And so Mahishasura thought he was very clever in that he asked, I wish to not be able to be killed by any man nor any god, and was blessed that way. And Durga specifically was created to be beyond him, as this unification, this like female force of protection and destruction. And so how was he defeated? He was merely in the very creation of Durga being made, and the gifts that Durga was given, like weapons and tools by all the other gods. Like, it was not so much a thing that she did, but merely her presence existing, and like being willing to like pursue and challenge and battle him, that he had no hope. It was her destiny from her creation to defeat him.
Cool. Okay. I was wondering because, like, part of it was that she killed him when he was in his buffalo form. So I was like, do I have to convince him to get into his buffalo form? So I wasn't sure. So that helps.
It's a really fascinating story that I've done a lot of reading about and could probably go into more detail about here. But I think that that's like what your mom is like conveying over the conversation, as we see like Nick sitting there, mom, dad, his sister, right? Like food being passed around, like, and she's like talking and like alternating between like telling you the story and like pestering you for not knowing it and asking you about your job and grandchildren. Yeah.
Yep, that sounds right.
And so to that end, because you're exploring your mythos also, so that's your one clue that you're getting about like Mahishasura, and also you can mark attention on your Durga theme on your theme book.
Excellent.
So that's Nick during the montage. We see him like eating dinner with his parents until the late hours of the night when they finally let him go. Mom like fussing over him at the front door, and he makes his way down and is able to head back to his apartment. What about the rest of the gang?
Iggy is fine-tuning some of his Indian recipes because he is convinced that he will be able to persuade his friend the doctor to bring him home to his parents to let him cook dinner for them. So he's going to spend the evening practicing his gourmet cooking, which would give him attention on that theme card.
It sure will. Yep, you're gonna give attention to one of your logos, so we see you like cooking and working, like sitting in your apartment working your thing. So yeah, mark attention on Gourmet Cook, and that's it. Iggy's cooking for the night. Does Iggy listen to music or anything like that? Like, what's the vibe as he's like cooking? Is it very focused and methodical?
He, yes, he has background music with no lyrics, so he can focus.
Got it. The musical soundtrack, the instrumental, back.
It's very instrumental.
I dig it. I
Classic.
dig it. So that's Iggy and Nick. Who else?
I think Jonathan wants to prepare for his next activity.
Ooh.
I think even though it seems like Nick is the one that like they're being thrust upon to be like maybe the fighter there, it seems like a place where a lot of fighting happens, and he's just getting the like beast inside ready. I think he's kind of embracing it a little bit.
Okay. So, is this you paying attention to your mythos theme? What is this? Which one of these things do we think it is? Basically, give attention to your logos. It's not that, right? It's not work the case. Is it explore your mythos? Or prepare for your next activity? It's prepare for your next activity.
Yeah, I think it's more preparing, because I think it's specifically the event itself. Like going into this like fight club environment. I think he's preparing, like getting ready to, in case he has to burst the monster out, the wings out. I think that's kind of his preparation, is just making sure he's like limber and ready for it.
Got it. So you basically have 3 juice. You should give yourself one of those tracking cards at the bottom of your sheet that's going to be 3 juice from like getting prepped, like, you know, like preparing the beast for what might occur. And that's like sitting and waiting for you to dig into it when you need it.
Great.
So that's Jonathan and Nick and Iggy. Lyra, Escher.
I think Lyra she goes back to the gym, and I think that she like is gonna train for a little bit. I think that she's gonna like work on her logos and like her acrobat training. So she's gonna like just mess around in the gym and like, you know, throw herself on the mats and everything, and yeah, gain some attention on that. Which again, here
Does
we
it
go.
advance? Oh my
Yep.
God, Taylor with the power leveling.
Oh.
I have a lot of weaknesses in the
Taylor's
beginning.
working your angles with these theme cards here, like making things happen. So, your training theme book.
Yes. So for this, I'm pretty sure it was a similar situation to the last one. Let me find it. But this is training, so
So yeah, whenever a theme improves, Lyra's like marked attention a couple of times here by focusing in on it on the montage. Like you guys can kind of see, but like this is a specific way that you can be like, okay, like I want to level this stuff up, right? So whenever a theme book advances, you could pick a new power tag. You can rewrite or change your weakness tag, or adding new weakness tags, so you just have 2. Or we can go look at the specific improvements available for each theme book. So what are you thinking about?
So what I did was, so sense of purpose. So choose an answer to a power tag question from the routine, defining event, or mission theme books that describes how you're applying your training today or an outcome of the way you acquired this training. So I picked defining event, because all this is going on, and what physical change or improvement stemmed from your defining event? And I think that she is nimble.
Okay, so you're applying your training, your sense of purpose of like getting to the bottom of all of this has like driven you to really like focus your agility on what's happening, and you now are nimble. I got it. Dig it. You're like always on your toes, right? That like that tension of awareness. I dig it. Okay. So yeah, we watch Lyra like work the like ropes and the poles and all the things that happened in a gymnastic studio that I'm highly familiar with as a role playing game nerd. And so that leaves only Escher. Escher, what does your montage look like?
Yeah, I mean, I want to explore my mythos, specifically the divination mystery of how do I warn the people. I don't know what that looks like, which is where I'm getting stuck. But I think that's what Escher is focusing on at this point, as like mythos is becoming more and more important and prominent, and other people are being more open about it, and like they are not as much, but they're like trying to figure out what to do. Divination.
I dig it. I'm sorry, I was cat distracted. Which one are you looking at? Which one of your mythos? Right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. You tell me. What does it? How does it look like? I guess the way that you would like be able to
I
focus
wonder if it's like
on that, and explore that.
attuning to the
I don't know. What do you
situation
think?
and just kind of like sort of pulling to maybe like create. This is so out of character for Escher, and so like maybe it's moving them in a new direction, but like creating like an altar almost of like a picture of Erastus and like any like clues in it, like a conspiracy board.
Yes.
But for them it's a more like
Oh,
spiritually
yes.
oriented
Yeah.
thing. Does that make sense?
Well,
Yeah, absolutely it does. We see like in the glow of like the lights of Escher's flat, right? The Christmas lights in the background, the like screens of the laptop, like we see them beginning to like compile these like bits and drabs of like the information you have so far, right? The like Erastus business card, the like the bits that you have, the list from like the library.
I think they'll like
the
draw
other
out a
books,
recreation
right?
of the map of
The-
that picture that got set, because like you can't print from a flip phone. Like what are you gonna do?
Oh, too true. Well, yeah, it would take forever to find the correct micro
no.
USB
Yeah,
cords
no.
from 100 years ago. So yeah. And so I think that yeah, we watch as like Escher compiles this like very kind of strange altar of these like disparate things that they've started gathering together in pursuing this. And so yeah, you get a clue for pursuing your mythos. And you get to mark attention on the mysteries theme so that your divination theme book gets attention. And the clue, you certainly don't have to use it now, though you could if you're asking a big question about all of this.
I mean, I feel like it has something to do with like what Erastus's next move is. Does it need to be more specific than
No.
that?
It doesn't necessarily. You want to ask what Erastus's next move is?
Yeah, I think because they're trying to see, Escher is trying to see like what's coming next so that they have a sense of like how to warn their friends and like help their friends.
Okay, this is rad actually. I think that we see like the camera's like down low in front of the coffee table and it's looking at like Escher from like below, and we kind of see the like this altar in between it, and it begins to like lift up, and we see Escher's eyes close and they sort of slide back into the couch a little bit, like sinking into it. And I think Escher, you like have this vision of Erastus like sitting at this desk. There is a fish tank in the background that has this huge serpent in it, this like big snake, which is like coiled around this rat that it's eating. And there's a silhouette like in between you and Erastus as you're kind of like looking at them of like a kind of like shaved head, really like muscle bound, big looking figure. It's not Lyndon, you don't recognize it or anything. And I think Erastus is saying like, this can't go on any longer. We have to get to the bottom of it. If these killings keep occurring, we might lose somebody very important to us. We need to get to the bottom of it. There's no reason we shouldn't have answers. We need more answers. I don't care what the mayor's task force is doing. I want you out there on the streets. I want you to find out everything you can about all of this. I want our people watching the docks. And I want our people watching them. And then you hear like a sound that's like indistinguishable, and it's almost like Erastus's voice is the only one that's clear here that you can like kind of hear. And I think Erastus just replies again like, I don't care about that. I don't really care about most of them. But that one is very important. We can't let them come to harm. Get our people down there. Make sure that all the police on the payroll are watching, reporting to us before they call the corrupt precincts. Find out who's killing us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
And so I think that
Bum, bum, bum.
I think that is that's like Escher's revelation from that clue. Is that clear? Was
Yeah.
that too narrative? Do I need to like to dial it in a little bit? I think Erastus's next move is to like send his people out to the docks to be like, hey, keep your eyes out.
Okay. And that he's one of us, apparently. Okay. Okay.
And so as the montage,
I wrote down most of that.
Cool. As the montages have completed, where do we see you all again? Are you all just like meeting back at the docks? Is that the plan? You're gonna meet down by the bar the next night?
At the Buffalo Bar.
I think we want to roll up together, probably, right?
Yeah.
Show unity.
Yeah, I dig that.
Yeah,
Is there
so
anything else that
maybe-
anybody needs to do before you all meet up, or do we just like come back to the five of you together?
Some hidden swords I could just throw on me, or some guns.
Escher's not a fighter.
I know. No, I'm good.
I know a guy who could get you what you need.
I can't roll into Fight Club with a sword on me.
No, that's not really how Fight Club
You
works.
could.
I don't think.
Would probably be bad, yeah.
There's one guy in Fight Club who's a demon. I think rules are out the window.
You know when you go show up at
Maybe.
your local fight club and that one guy turns out to be a demon, you know? That's
Yeah,
just
that's
the
happened.
worst.
All these words are things
Sort of
that
against
don't
the
normally
rules.
happen, yeah.
It's really the worst.
So many Fight
First
Clubs
rule
have
of
been
Fight Club
ruined
has
that
been
way.
amended.
You know your fight club's kind of the shit when the demons start showing up. So we see the five of you walking back down the street again, approaching the Buffalo Wallow.
Well, I guess this is it. Thanks for all you guys for sticking with me on this, and
What's the plan here exactly?
Great question.
yeah,
I'm not sure. I
It's,
think that Nick's gonna fight to the death. I think that's what's about.
Yes, Nick's gonna kill Lyndon in the
Well,
basement.
Nick
Why
doesn't
are we
want
killing
Nick
Lyndon?
doesn't want to do that, but we don't know. I mean, step one, find out exactly who it is, if it is Lyndon. Step two,
Wait, we're thinking Lyndon is the demon?
part of it, yes.
Looks that way.
Okay.
Number one suspect at the moment.
Okay.
I think
What if
Escher
he's not?
says, like, if nothing else, it'll be cool to see Nick use his powers on that douchebag.
Guess so. I don't know. I feel. I don't know. I don't know if I don't think the answer is gonna be that easy. I think he's a jerk, but I don't. I feel like you would have felt something, Nick. If you met him.
I mean, I felt an impact of his punch when he threw it at me.
Right, but I mean his involvement with Erastus and Anastasia, and Erastus is like fighting this.
I mean, he might not know what it is.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're here for you. Don't get yourself killed, please.
Really like
But try not to kill anybody too.
Yeah. I mean, Lyndon is the
That'd be
number
bad.
one suspect, but the main point is whoever it is will be here most likely. So it's more keeping an eye out to
I don't
find out.
think so. I don't know. I think they're
Even
hiding.
if they're not, I think even if they're not, if they're looking for people from the library, they'll all know we made a name for ourselves here tonight. I think if nothing else, we're getting them, or we're getting us on their radar, which I would rather us be attacked by this guy than somebody who doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
But I do want to underline what Lyra says. Don't die in there, all right?
Yeah.
Would
And let's
really
not
like
like give anybody a reason to actually suspect us for murder.
Got it. So don't die, don't kill, and that's it. Yeah, just night at the
Yep.
bar.
Good plan. Yeah.
Also, maybe Lyndon won't even.
I mean, even if you
Want to
do
fight.
die, that doesn't mean there's not things we couldn't try to do.
Iggy, what did you say your situation was again? I don't think you did.
We've talked about it ad nauseum previously.
Uh-huh.
No. Iggy, no.
Mm.
And so,
Of course, I'd be dead. So really, how would I stop you?
the five of you, amidst this discussion, you approach the door, opening it back up, heading inside. The music tonight is dulled a little bit by the sound of voices, as on Friday night the Buffalo Wallow is packed out. It's still no Club Delphi, but it's relatively full as you all like make your way in, and it's later in the evening, as you've heard that like the scrapping doesn't start until around midnight, right? So it's like 11 o'clock, 11:30 probably is the time you're like all kind of strolling into the place. I think the bartender like acknowledges the group of you as you kind of come in, making your way like into the main room. You sort of cluster around like one of the tables or whatever, and he like nods over to you, and yeah, like somebody, one of the servers kind of like comes around over to the table, will take an order from the bunch of you. And she's just like, yeah, Benny said that when you're ready, you just head down into the back. It's going to be the third door. It says out of order, but, well, you know.
Can I get a beer?
Of course, yeah.
I immediately chug the entire
Mhm.
thing.
She comes back. She brings you guys a drink order. We're watching, like, Nick as he's just like...
Do you
Ugh.
have the entry fee, Nick?
Oh, right. There's an entry fee, isn't there? I mean,
I can cover it if you need it.
yeah, that'd be great.
What a
Thanks.
bro.
Thanks, Iggy.
I think after you already offer, like right when you pay it, that's when Jonathan's like, "Oh, I could have. Sorry. You got it. I'll get it next time."
Whenever someone offers to say, I immediately reach for my wallet because there's a note inside that says, say thanks. And Mitch Hedberg. Carrying on.
Wow.
So,
Uh,
you guys like hang out at the table for a little bit. Nick like drinks. You see like the room is slowly starting to like empty, even though nobody's going out the front door, as people seem to like keep heading down the hallway towards the bathroom and like don't come back. You know, after a time, right? It's like probably about like 10 to midnight, and the bartender like just gestures over by the hall. He's like, "They'll take care of you down there. Good luck, pal."
Thanks. Probably gonna need it. As I head towards the back.
So
Here we go.
the five of you make your way. You're heading down this kind of like hallway, right? You see the two doors for the restroom. There's a third door like right along that wall. It's got this like really crappy sign that says out of order. You check the handle real quickly. It's open. And there's a big dude like standing at the top of the stairs, you know. And he's like, "Oh shit. You're Durga, huh? Good luck, pal."
He just said, he just says that, hearing the interesting. Okay. You've heard of me? Or
Yeah.
was this because of yesterday?
Because of yesterday, he's like, Benny said that there was some young guy down here looking to get his head stoved in by the champ. So
Well, hopefully not that, but definitely wanted to meet him.
well, you're gonna meet him, all right, pal. Good luck.
Cool.
And so a lot of you like come through. He like peeks his head back out, closing the door at the top of the stairs. So as you guys come down this this cement staircase, the like alcove opens up to your left, and it's this really long, sort of low ceilinged basement, right? There's like the brick kind of columns every like 10 or 15 feet like supporting the roof above. We see some pipes like like cables, electrical wires kind of running along just above your headspace. There's like venting and ducting for like the heat upstairs, right? Over in like the corner of the room is like some like appliance type stuff, a hot water heater, some big stuff like but there is like a few big tables, sort of like dining room tables that have been put kind of catty cornered over on one side of the room, and you could see like a lot of action and activity is happening over there. There's people like clearly taking bets, money is being exchanged, and then like the place is like, you know, there's not quite 100 people down here, but there's a solid 50 or 60, you know. And they're all like masked up as you hear like yelling and shouting and the sounds of like people like getting hyped up, and you can like glance and see past this crowd. There's clearly a circle in the center, and a couple of folks seem to be like getting ready to kind of fight. As you make your way down in, you like scan the crowd, and there you see him. He's not wearing like the same clothes he was from a couple of days ago. He has no cowboy hat on tonight, but his hair is kind of short, like trimmed, like not quite buzzed, but like trimmed really short brown hair. The big like form of Lyndon standing on the other side of the room, and around him is like the posse, some of whom you recognize from the night before, of like jerks from out in front of the bar, you know. And he's just eyeing the lot of you from across the room as you come down the stairs. But real quickly, somebody's like, "What's with you lot? Are you betting? You fighting? You need drinks? What do you need?" Somebody's like yelling from the tables over in the corner. "We'll get you set up right over here." "Oh shit, is that the guy? Is that the guy? Are you the guy?"
I'm the guy. How are my odds?
"Oh, they're garbage, man. Garbage."
Cool. Anyone want to place a bet?
With what money?
Yeah. Sorry.
I
Wood.
believe in you, Nick, but I don't really have the cash.
I feel like I have a 20.
Okay.
Is that?
I mean,
did they
I'll
take
bet
a
on
20?
you for you if that's what you want.
Yeah, I'll bet it. Yeah, put a 20.
Okay.
in.
He takes the 20.
I don't know that any of us really know how a Fight Club works.
He bets the 20 on Nick. Oh no, I definitely know. I spent a lot of my youth in fight clubs, and so
It's our characters.
yeah, me too. That's what I meant too. So I think that as they like take the thing, he's looking for like the entrance. It's $100 for you to be allowed to fight. You're able to like get some drinks, you know. They've got like a really like roughneck kind of cooler set up down here. You think it would be a little more sophisticated with the bar upstairs. It's not. And so as all of you kind of like are standing at the edge of this table, this like shadow kind of casts over you for a minute, and you turn, Nick, and I think that you see Lyndon is like standing with like part of his posse kind of like standing around him, and he's just like, "What are you trying to do? I've recognized you from the club the other day. You following me?"
No, just trying to figure out some stuff. When we encountered each other,
Is that what you call this? You think this is going to be like therapy for you? Figure out some stuff.
when we met in the hallway, did you recognize me?
His eyes narrowed like, "I've never seen you before in my life, but I recognize you now. And your friends. And it seems like you're all up in my shit. And you came down
Yeah,
here."
because you know what happened to you.
You know what?
You know what happened to you.
What happened to me?
You're telling me you didn't just become a champ a month ago? And that's coincidence?
He's just like staring at you like,
We're not your enemies, man.
you don't even know who the fuck I am. How are you going to tell me
I don't
who
need
your enemies
to.
are? I don't know what you think you know, but I know that the five of you have been all up in my business for the last 2 days. I've never seen any of you before, and now you're here. You're at my bar, my people. I don't know what the hell you
Yeah.
did to them, but you left an
Nick
impression.
whispers also. I think Lyra might have been right, and this is not the right person. This means this is not gonna go well for me.
And I think that like he like looks back at you like, you really just came down here to fight?
Came down
Trying to
here
make sure you don't
looking
get killed.
Me?
for- or anyone else get killed for that matter.
Well, it seems like a lot of people are getting killed around here these days. I promise I'll try not to kill you. But you're really here to fight? Because you came down here throwing my name around, telling the people upstairs that I sent you here.
Look, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I really, really, for so many reasons, would prefer not to fight. But reason to believe that whoever, as I look around and make sure no one's like nearby enough to listen, whoever's killing people like us might be here tonight.
People like us? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? And I think like he
Come
like
on,
steps
dude, are you
forward.
really so ignorant?
I think he throws a punch at Lyra, and I think that I think is exactly where we will pause tonight. Right? Is that, did I do it
It's just
right?
like an
I wasn't
anime
gonna
freeze
say it, but I
frame.
was like, "There's no way we're getting to the actual."
I thought we
fight
were
today.
actually going to
That's
get to
not
the
gonna
fight. I was
happen.
really ready to get to the actual fight, but I think that we've got like 15 minutes left, and this is probably a good place for us to stop. So we're not here until 10 o'clock at night, beating the snot out of each other with City of Mistrals, and it's just so good.
I've just read what Take a Risk is, so I feel like that's about to happen.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
I
Lots
feel
of
it.
take a risk rules.
I'm
I
ready
feel
for
like
that one.
mechanically this is a good point for us to stop. So for those of us who want to, polish up a little bit on like how does fighting work in this game. Like, we could do that, and also like it's just too dramatic as this guy like clearly just like leaps right past Nick, is like, I'm gonna punch this girl in the head, which says something about him to begin with. And
Yep.
yep.
Yeah.
Gotta love him.
Well,
Gotta
and yeah,
love
the
him.
good news is any chance of being like, well, maybe Lyndon isn't a bad person or is caught up in all this. Well, that just went out
All
the window.
those things,
Bad person and being caught up in all this are two different
they
things.
are.
He might
Sure.
still be a very bad person.
Durga Danger Cure. I just saw that said. That's very funny.
It's very good. It was a very good joke that no one noticed.
I
It's
noticed
fine.
it. I've noticed. I have noticed. So this is the part of the night where we geek out to the credits, as we have reached that part of the night. So, does anybody in particular want to start?
I'm good to start. I feel like I knew what mine was going to
Okay,
be.
let's go. What do we got
early
for
on.
Nick, Kevin, geeking out to the credits?
Yeah, definitely going to be the meaningful interaction. And it's going to be with Lyra, who definitely stood up for Nick during gave encouragement when he was like freaking out and everything. So I feel like that was really good support that he needed at the time, which is going to be great because that's why also he's going to dive in to start the next session to try and stop her from getting
It's
punched
fantastic.
by this main.
It's fantastic. It's good synergy. You came here to fight, but now you will have to fight. So you get to take a help point with Lyra.
Yeah.
Nick gets a help point with Lyra. I feel like I'm going to have to really encourage us all to use those before we end up with millions of them. But
I know. I feel like we're treating them like how you treat like loot
Yeah,
in games.
they're
Like
like
you just
healing
pick up random
potions.
stuff and you're like, I'm gonna need this
I
later.
might need
Yep.
it later.
I might need it
yeah,
later.
it's going to be a boss fight.
I
Like,
can't use this health potion.
Yes. Can't
because
touch
I
the
might
health
need it later in
potion.
the game.
I can see next
You're
session already. Like,
Fighting Sephiroth, the game is about to be over. I might need this 100. Okay. I need these elixirs.
I so am that guy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my god.
I definitely
doing that
like defeated
currently.
Sephiroth with elixirs and stuff still in my inventory. Like, why did I do that? Why am I saving these?
Because then you have to go back to your save file and fight the weapon.
It's true. So, Nick is going to take a help point with Lyra. Who's next?
I'm gonna.
Um,
Oh, go ahead, Kurt.
I'm taking a hurt point with Lyra.
Oh, boy.
Iggy,
Me too, probably.
Yeah.
Iggy had things well under control, and he didn't really appreciate. He was standing up for the team, and then she just was like,
Ooh.
"Screw it! Like, I'm just gonna scare everybody away."
Mhm.
Like they didn't learn a lesson. So
They did learn a lesson, and for a minute there, it was a little scary for all of you, too. Lyra's kind of terrifying.
yeah,
I didn't want
Yeah.
us to get pummeled by a group of crazy fighter people.
Well, that's why you unleashed your aura of terrible power, young
Yes.
lady, and sometimes there's repercussions when that happens.
There's repercussions for terrible power.
Wait, you guys don't like
don't
my
understand.
aura? My overwhelming, terrifying
I
aura?
love it.
I
If
think
they-
Escher's also going to take a hurt point with. Sorry, Kurt. Were you? I don't mean to cut you off. Were you finished or no?
yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, Escher's also taking a hurt point with Lyra from a combination of Escher was trying to have that conversation on the phone one-on-one before Lyra like insisted on being like, no, we're all here and we're all gonna talk to
Uh-huh.
you.
Uh-huh.
Nick was never there. He spoke
Speaker.
nothing.
Nick was never there.
Plausible deniability. His voice was never heard.
Combined with Lyra also like pushing the conversation about the mythos that like Escher does
Made
not
Asher
want to
have
have.
feelings. Okay. Yes. I got it. I got it. I like it. I like Lyra as like a real like crux point of what's happening here. There's a real like, can we just all like acknowledge this elephant that's in the room with us? You know, and people being like,
No.
like,
The answer is no.
please put the elephant back under the blanket, Lyra. You know?
Right. Stop it.
What are you doing? Okay, so that's 3 out of 5. How about Jonathan and Lyra herself?
I think Lyra will take a help point with Nick
Ooh,
as
okay.
well because like he was the one who did like own up to like what's going on and really like embraced it. And I think that she's a little bit like proud, but like that's not anything that she's gonna talk about. But
I would
yeah,
never
I think
say this to her face.
yeah.
But I'm really proud of her. Why would you never say that to her face?
But yeah, I think that Lyra is like proud of Nick and like is glad to see him kind of like coming into that, like accepting kind of what's going on. And yeah.
Okay, cool. So you get a help point with Nick. That's pretty rad. So just Jonathan is left.
Yeah, I don't want to pile on, but I can't figure out anything other than a hurt point for Lyra. It feels like that's
It was a big night for
It
Lyra,
was.
for better or for worse.
it was like yeah,
Was
and
it?
I feel like none of the other interactions with people I feel like were that momentous unless it would be like he had bigger interactions with NPCs, like getting a text message from
Perez.
Perez is
Perez.
big, but
She didn't even text
Right.
you back though.
No, she didn't.
Didn't.
That-
No, she
Didn't.
didn't.
she did not.
Probably
I don't
waiting
think
for
that's her
Nick.
style.
That was not me forgetting either, right? Yeah, that was her intentionally. Okay.
Oh no, I jump on her. She just does not want to. I think she sends orders, does not receive.
She's at least a little bit of a jerk.
but yeah.
Okay, so I think Jonathan again is feeling the tension with Lyra from everything tonight. Okay, I dig it.
It's a big move.
Got it. That is the formal geeking out to the credits. How did you all feel about this tonight? Was this all right? We've
Oh,
dug
yeah.
like
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
deep.
I feel like
Yeah,
every
this was our
session is so
research.
different.
Yeah, this
Like,
was our
each
research
week has been
episode.
So different.
I agree, Zed.
It's very.
It was
sad.
yeah. It's funny because I think I messaged this to Rich specifically into the group chat because Kevin 2 weeks ago figured out like pretty solidly like, oh, I know what this is. And then, like I messaged Rich being like, he doesn't like don't say anything, but I think I was like, I just realized buffaloes also have horns, and Rich was just like,
Do they?
did the eyes emoji, and I was just like, oh boy, and so I was also trying to figure out like, okay, Kevin knows it, but how the
They
hell
don't have-
do I get to a point where Nick can figure it out? Yeah,
Not.
I don't
Yeah.
think that's right.
They don't have longhorn horns, but
Well,
also
they don't have long.
this is
Longhorns.
like the water
Yeah.
buffalo that we're talking about, not like the Native
Yeah,
American
like a
like
Cape
bison.
Yeah.
We're not talking about like the indigenous bison of North America. We're talking about like Cape buffaloes,
I
water
see, okay.
buffaloes, right?
Yep.
And
Listen, my mom's family for several generations is from South Dakota, so the only kind
nice.
of buffalo I understand
Yes. You're
are,
like,
like,
very
Midwestern
dialed into
American
like buffalo
buffalo.
buffaloes.
Ew.
that do not have horns.
So I was like throwing.
But these other ones,
I
Cape
see, I
Buffalo
see
are
what I'm looking
scary.
at.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Cape buffalo are terrifying.
Southeast Asia and China. Okay.
So I was like having fun, like playing that out a little bit. And then tonight, the way you guys chose to like interrogate this, the dual use of like the Iggy, like Nick clue, like in conjunction
That
there
was so cool.
was very
So
cool.
great.
And it was really
That was
like a
great.
great way for you guys to think about like how to use them. And it came down to me of like, I could keep like dancing around and being like vague because like it's confusing. It's a shapeshifter, it's supposed to be like confusing, but also like, like at the point that Nick reads those names on the list, like it's gonna jump right out of like, oh yeah, Durga and Mahashasura, and so I'm kind of glad.
Because he would have been reading it in the
Exactly.
library. Because like specifically, I was reading it the day before in our first session.
So I was excited that we kind of got to that and unpeeled that. Like there were a lot of big reveals today, and I guess the other things for me, like going forward, is. Like, I'm still very cognizant of like, okay, so you have an idea of who killed these people, but you don't 100% know who they are yet. You think that they're
Who the-
somebody.
Human
Mhm.
is.
And then
Right.
there is
Yeah.
like,
Because we think it's Lyndon, might not. be.
sure. So that's
he could just be a
that's
dick.
going to be exciting to see like reveal itself probably pretty quickly in the next week as we get into like fisticuffs. But then also like there's all the other questions associated around this, like all the stuff with the Rastus that you've started picking at. Like, what's the motive? Is there a motive? Is it just because it's an angry shape-changing demon that it's killing people? Is it like hunting Kevin? Like, it seems pretty clear it's hunting Nick, but like, is it? What's up here? So I feel good about where we're at. I'm excited about all of this. Cool.
Yeah, the revelation about Erastus was great.
Oh, you like that? Okay, good.
I like how that.
Okay.
Mhm.
That was
Good.
cool.
Yeah, and I hope that wasn't too like intrusive with a couple of things. I'm trying to like push in on things that matter to your identities and your mysteries and all this kind of stuff without being too overt about it, but I think we're getting there now. Taylor work in the character sheet has finally added crack to one of her themes. So well played.
Yes, I need to pay way more attention to that.
I
for
love
sure.
it. I'm really glad. Okay, cool. I think we're in like a really interesting spot to come back next week. I guess as we're getting ready to part, does anybody have anything particular? Let's start with Sheldon, because why wouldn't we? Jonathan like really cracked me up tonight. The text message to Perez was
So
like one of
good.
the funniest things, dude. He really like almost killed me there.
The dot dot
Yeah.
dot.
Sorry. Dot
Um,
dot dot.
In T9, by the way, with your little burner phone.
Oh, definitely. And like tapping it 3 times. Yeah, if you want to catch more of that, I'm playing in the PvP adventure on the post show recaps Discord
yes.
this week. So we had some phenomenal adventures. I'm having a lot of fun playing this little gnome who just is coming from the inside of this earth and experiencing everything for the first time. He almost died. It was great.
Your character is very popular, apparently. People are like in the channels being like, I love Brecca.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal little adventure. Like the DMs have put together something amazing for us. So if you like to read and catch up, I highly recommend it.
Shout out to Pia in
Pia
the chat.
in the
if he's
chat.
still
He
here.
probably is. He's really good. Thank you if you are here, Pia. We love you, and we know your real name. Awesome, cool. Taylor, what's going on with you?
Not much. Twitter Ronnie422, Instagram Ronnie422_. Hopefully by the end of this month, I am going to be able to make my own stickers instead of like doing my Redbubble thing.
Nice.
So I might start an Etsy shop and stuff like that. So keep your eye on that.
You know I have a compulsion of like buying stickers, so yes, get going on that, and I will buy many of them. Cool. Kevin, how about you? You had a busy week podcasting. Where can people find you? What's going on?
I did have a week podcasting here. So, of course, you can follow me at Kevin Monadeo. You can check out my website, mahabman.com. But specifically, you can also find me in those aforementioned podcasts as part of the Post Show Recaps Network. This week, we did Star Wars Episode 3 as part of our A Long Time Ago podcast, where myself, Josh Wigler, and LaTanya Starks did a feedback show and hot takes on Episode 3. They really weren't that hot because I think we all are pretty much aligned on where those prequel movies fall. But if you want to hear some entertaining conversation about those things, be sure to check that out. I did the Community podcast as
nice.
well, in which we discussed Season 1, Episode 12, Comparative Religion, the first Christmas episode of the series. A very fun one. Had a blast talking about that. They got the Mighty Ducks podcast, where we're recapping Mighty Ducks Game Changers. It's me and Melissa Woodward every week talking about the show. We're really enjoying it so far. We're halfway through the season. And last but certainly not least, my iconic one, quintessential, whatever, the big one that I do. Everything is super. We are now just wrapped up the final episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Me, Mike Bloom, and LaTanya Starks. And next week, joining us back in the game, as mentioned, is Josh Wigler, the great Josh Wigler, who coming back for the feedback show, and we will be announcing what Josh and I will be doing next on Everything is Super. Needless to say, I'm particularly very excited about what we're going to do in between the break between Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki. And if you know me at all, you could probably figure it out. But stay tuned and tune in for all of that.
Awesome. That's exciting. That's a long list of stuff. I'm hyped. I wanted to check out the Star Wars podcast. I think I heard LaTanya saying she was popping off, so I'm really curious what's going on there.
She took my soapbox and got on it and really went off.
I can't wait. I love a soapbox rant. Kurt Clark, my dear friend, what's going on with you?
Not a whole lot. Podcasting each week with the great Haley Strong and the great LaTanya Starks about Top Chef. Recorded our coverage of episode 4 today, in which LaTanya went off about Revenge of the Sith. So apparently it was actually very impactful.
Amazing.
If having nothing to do with Portland and produce, which was the theme of this week. So she's been great. That's been fun. You know, as a shout out to our sister stream over at Sabotage the DM. Check out their game. It would be going on tomorrow, Monday, at I believe 7 o'clock in the UK, which is about 2 o'clock Eastern time.
I think that's correct.
If you want to follow me, I'm at Kurt Clark with a C for Kurt, C for Clark. On the Twitter, on the Instagram, on the Twitch. Taylor jumped in watching me stream Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
That was so fun.
That was a nice little surprise seeing her jump in there. Other than that, I've been playing some solo board games because I'm sad. But
we need to play more cooperative role-playing games then. Forget that.
More?
More.
Highly recommend the second edition of Mansions of Madness. I've had it for like 6 years, and I finally busted it out again. And like, it's intense. It's fun, but it's like Lovecraftian horror at its finest board game. So
I recommend Ironsworn, Kurt. Have you checked that out? I think it's like a one-player RPG that I heard really good things about. I want to scope out. But
is it one of the like journaling RPGs?
Yes, I think so.
I've heard of it. I've not played it.
I think so. Cool. Well, that's also a very good list of stuff. I am Rich Filiberto. You can find me here at Twitch TV/DM Philly. I am also DM Philly on YouTube. Warfret1625 on Twitter. That's a terrible name, but I stuck with it, so I'm committed. Keep your eyes out here. What?
Wait,
did you skip Zed?
Did I skip you, Zed?
Yeah.
I was trying to tell from their facial
Zed,
expressions.
I'm the worst.
Like, wait, Okay, that's no.
I'm so bad.
Zed did not
What a
go,
jerk
and
move.
They got skipped.
Zed, what's going on, Zed?
Hi.
I feel terrible.
Okay.
I'm over it.
Philly sent me a birthday present this week, and my birthday's now for 2 weeks, so y'all can step up your games. And Rich, you don't have to feel bad for skipping
Okay,
me.
I'm over it. Thank you.
I'm Hard Rock Hope anywhere that I'm on the internet. I'm podcasting about Final Fantasy VIII with Josh Wigler on Post Show Recaps. And I've been instructed not to say what it is yet, but there is a new patron podcast coming to Post Show Recaps that I will be co-hosting with a couple of friends. And that's dropping. The first episode will be dropping this week. I think we're also going to drop it in the main feed. New month is coming up. Join the Patreon program for post-show recaps. Come hang out with us. Even more content coming your way, especially now that Josh will be becoming a full-time podcaster. So come hang out with us. We're having a great time. We're playing D&D. We're talking about all the television, all the movies, all the things. I think that's it.
You sure?
Probably.
Okay. I can't believe I almost skipped you. That was terrible.
So funny.
Post-show recaps. It's really popping off. There's a lot of good stuff. I, too, worked on a small secret project that will be turning up in the next couple of weeks that I'm really excited about. You guys should go check them out if you're not. Thank you for stopping in and hanging out with us tonight. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, we'll be back with Firelight Tales, Titans Airs. We were off last week. We had some scheduling stuff. We are back with that tomorrow night. And then keep your eyes peeled. May the 4th May the 4th. It will be with you. Big things coming down the pipe here, 8 p.m. Eastern, May the 4th. Put it on your calendar. Pop in here. It's going to be really cool. A good time will be had by all, I promise. And with that, I think I say to everybody, good night. Thank you all for stopping in. Bye. Bye all. Bye.
Bye.